let's get some housekeeping out of the way. Uh, so you guys all leveled up to ninth?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
All right, so I know that proficiency bonuses went up, so it's that time to update my file on passive perceptions and insights. So first, Kareem, what's your passive perception and insight if it's changed?
15 and 15. Because the
Alright.
proficiency bonus increased, so.
Yep. All right, Thornburg,
Mine are both 18.
look at that. All right, Emin's not here. Zarana, are you still 12-12?
Yeah.
Winter is still 10-10.
Yes.
Belfrian,
13.
all right, you haven't changed. Balabar is still 10-10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so I think that's all set and out of the way. Next thing I'm gonna do is, because you guys were so awesome last session, you just move
were we?
Balabar's window. out of the
We
way.
didn't die. I guess that's awesome.
I'm gonna give everybody an inspiration token right off the
Woo! We did it.
bat. Hey,
We win.
So we did the recap or something?
Yeah, you guys can do a recap if you like, or I can do the recap, whatever you like.
I forgot what happened.
Some notes here.
We saved all the pigs.
Mhm.
Almost
is
all the pigs,
important
maybe.
part.
A couple of them died, you know.
I could,
Oh,
I
yeah,
could
there
try
was
to
some-
do my memory of it.
I got some notes here. We started off by defeating that monstrous
Big fat lard.
fatso guh,
Yeah.
and looting the wagon underneath her a little bit. We didn't have much time because the
Roof was on.
on fire.
Better get some water.
We were so we grabbed some stuff and ran out of there. Thornburg gave Belfrian a sensual ointment rubbing.
Yeah.
Is that the second time you've done that? Or no, I was the first person to do that, and then you were the second.
All right.
I think that's what it was.
We found a gentleman halfling named Roderick Hilltopple, and helped him save his family from the cages, or like the prison underneath Grudhog. We also found two other prisoners. We found Gree
Agree.
Gree of the Black Ravens, who Belfrian, he knew something about Belfrian's mom, I believe, from the Black Ravens tribe, and told Belfrian that the Red Veins were challenging Belfrian's mom as the leader of the tribe. There was Zorana's old pal Koros.
So real quick, but before you continue on, so the correction to that is that
Okay.
a woman named Red Veins is actually the leader of is actually a usurper that is challenging the control of the Grey Wolf tribe. So Black Ravens, there's a usurper within the Black Ravens named Red Veins that is challenging the Grey Wolf tribe.
And the Grey Wolf tribe is Belfrian's tribe.
Black Ravens is Belfrian's tribe.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go on. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No. That's good. I had that wrong. We found Zorana's pal Koros, which I don't really remember what information he had.
Uh,
Maybe Zorana will step in here.
I don't think he did. He was like he just got captured kind of outside the
Okay.
rim of the high forest, and he got hurt in the leg, and he's
Oh yeah, that's right.
proud
He's
about
got a broken
it.
leg. Yeah, so he had a broken leg, Koros, and we found a chest with Lathander's symbol on it that was full of 6 vials of holy water, which we dispersed amongst each other. And also Gree mentioned that he saw a gnome merchant on the Deserin Road
Who sells drugs?
who probably sells drugs. And yeah.
You guys did a lot.
Oh, and now we're drinking what we think is beer, but it's actually just water.
It tastes.
Although
like
Thornber's not
But
drinking
it tastes like beer.
anyway. It tastes like beer. We're all very sober.
Cream is enjoying it.
Unless it's like placebo effect, you know.
Hey, he doesn't know. Yeah, he could be. Okay.
For a second there, I thought you said something else. I thought you said placebo. And I was like, what?
Placebo?
Nothing.
Placebo.
Forget it. All right, good. Thank you for the recap, Thornbur. Anybody want to add anything else?
Top got away. Again.
That's right.
That's right. Talk got away.
When we were trying to run out of the building, there was a big old boulder, and we had to push it out of the way.
Mm-hmm. But Tot was small enough that he was able to squeak past it.
Little bitch.
Yeah.
Did we go to bed before, or we're still awake?
So I believe you went to Groudhog in the early morning. So currently you're kind of just like lounging around. In the old orc encampment, there's a couple of large mounds of dirt where you managed to bury the bodies of the 2 hill giants that were here.
Mm-hmm.
One of them being Moog, the other one being potentially her husband, Kruk. And there were also some other bugbear bodies here, which I assume that you guys just kind of dragged into the cave itself. And then what else? You guys are hanging around, around the campfire. It's still daytime. You've gotten the benefits of taking a long rest, and you're currently enjoying some ham, some pig, some roasted pig that Balabar was kind enough to spice up and cook for you.
And mutton.
And some mutton. Yeah. Spice up and cook for you over the time of your rest.
Question for you. While they were moving and burying bodies and such, would I have had time to go spend an hour and get my familiar back?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, everybody's just kind of hanging around over here. Now, in order to bring your familiar back, go ahead and tell me how you do that.
I kind of move away from the group and light a small fire and burn some different, herbs and other
more fire.
And I do an hour-long chanting ritual, and eventually from the fire comes the owl again.
All right. Nice.
Cool.
Well, Corals definitely seems impressed, and so does the Hilltopple family, who's kind of hanging around off to the side on the north section of your camp here.
Can I go to the family and talk to them?
Yeah, you can do whatever you like. Everybody's just kind of relaxing and maxing, chilling out cool.
Playing some b-ball down by the school when a couple of guys go up to know. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the family and I'm gonna be like,
My Alexa's talking to me. All right, go ahead.
these sheep, they are yours, right?
Oh yeah. These sheep are all mine.
All
All of them that the frost giant over there hasn't taken already.
Do you want to have us follow you? As you heard
Follow
them.
me. I'm not really sure where to go. Well, I'm not really sure even where I am at the moment.
Do I have a map? Do we have a map?
I don't remember him. I mean, we have like the map
No, we were
that
following
has
Grilly.
like all of the like the
That's right. We don't
Stuff
even know where
on
we
it.
are either.
but
I think we have a general sense of where we are. Can I try to explain to them like where the river flows? Because I know it goes to Golden Fields, right?
Yeah.
we have
so...
the old tower map if that counts as a map.
I'll try to explain to them where we are.
Yeah, you could show them the old tower map. That might help, and then you could kind of figure out from there where where you may be. But if you want to use some general landmarks, you can make me an intelligence check to remember exactly where you are.
Sure. That's not good.
Yeah, so you think you're somewhere near the Desserin Road, but you're not 100% sure where. And you know that you're somewhere within the Desserin Valley. But
I know the river goes to Golden Fields. That's about my gist of it.
Correct.
Okay, well, I tell them what I know, so.
Oh, Golden Fields. That's quite a ways away. I'm not really sure. Maybe one of your friends knows exactly where we are.
Yes, sir, that's probably a good idea.
Right. And he says, "Oh, thank you again, sir, for saving me and my family."
No problem.
He says with a smile, and everybody seems really pleased that you came by to say hello to them and to try to find out how they are, including his wife, Rosie, who her cheeks are bright red when she looks up at you.
His wife?
Yeah, well, not in a sexual way.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
Jeez, Kareem.
Wow. He's right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna just walk away from this. I don't want to get involved in their marriage. I don't know what they're going through right now. I'm gonna just walk back to
I
my.
didn't know you were into midget tossing.
I'm gonna walk back to my friend over here and smoke another tobacco pipe with him.
You're talking about Gray?
Yeah.
All right, sure. Oh, fuck. Clicked the wrong thing. Okay, so Gray, yeah, when you walk over to him, you can kind of tell that he's not really paying attention to you at all. In fact, as you're walking back over to him and he's just kind of there sipping his, spice beer that Balabar was able to, mock up for him. He's got almost like a really, really intense stare at Belfrine going on, who's completely oblivious to him looking at her at the moment.
Belfrin!
But when you say that and you call Belfrine's name, Thornburg, your attention catches as well, and you can see this kind of exchange between Kareem and Belfrine, and also Gree, who's given this really locked, intense stare at Belfrine. All right, so go ahead, Thornburg. Not Thornburg, Kareem.
Belfrin, can you come over here?
Certainly. How may I be of service?
Do you know this man?
Where are you, Kareem? You're right next to Gree at the moment?
I'm right next to him.
He just looks at you. He's he kind of shrugs, not shrugs, but puts his hands up and he says, well, we don't really know each other. Yeah. But, I know of Belfrian is what Gree says. As she walks on over. I assume, Jay, that you walk on over.
Mm-hmm.
Belfrin, are you famous?
No, hardly. No, not really. I mean, certain circles, I suppose, but
What's really famous anyway? What does that mean to be famous? Grease says.
Known, I guess.
I mean, famous like Elminster famous? Famous like, Black Sun? Or the Seven Sisters? Or Drist? Or
To be
however
honest, I'm not from around here, so I don't know any of those things.
He scratches his head. Yeah, I guess you're right. Look, I only know Belfrion because, she's a Black Raven. And at least she was, and so she got separated from her clan. Right? Isn't that what happened?
yeah, that's exactly what happened. Oh, that was so long ago, though. I didn't think anyone remembered me from the tribe.
These ravens, what are the ravens?
Oh, the Black Ravens, they live far to the north. They're tribal people. Up by the spine of the world, the mountain range. It's way up there. But I haven't been since I was a child. But yeah,
We got a special place, it's called Raven Rock. That's where all of us Black Ravens are now. That's where Belfrin's mother leads the tribe. We all know of Belfrin because, we were pretty young when she disappeared. It was the talk of the tribe. Nobody ever found out where Belfrin went. But I recognize that face anywhere. And when he says that, he kind of looks at her, and you get the impression that he's kind of attracted to her.
Mm-hmm.
Gives a little slight smirk or smile, but in a kind of pervy way.
Pervy way?
He's checking for that. That's what I'm saying.
Thornber walks up at this point and says, well, Belfrien's with us now. She, I guess it was just yesterday we met her, but we get along real nice, and...
Wait a minute. Say that again? You just met this woman yesterday?
Nice.
No. You part before that. You said you just met her yesterday.
Oh, well, yeah, she came in chasing this donkey. I guess she was chasing the giant that was holding the donkey, probably. But, yeah, anybody who kills giants is a friend of mine. Clap Belfrin on the back.
Well, this just gets more interesting. So, where were you before all of that? She says to Belfrin.
That's a good question.
I look over interestedly.
Same.
He kind of scoots over on the grass and has the dirt right next to him, motioning for you to sit down.
I go sit down next to him.
When you do that, he kind of turns his head from you and rolls his eyes. It's very obvious to Kareem, who's still standing.
Well, I came from Golden Fields, actually. That's partially where I've grown up these past few years. Past 11 years.
Oh, then you've heard of us, right?
Yeah, that's right. You said you were friends with Liverless. I forgot about that.
That's right. Yes,
He's a tree, I say to agree.
Your friends with a tree.
Tree.
Oh,
A really cool tree.
Old tree. He's
Murderous tree.
very dear to me.
I did like him. He was cool.
He raised
Although
Nicest tree I ever met.
he had a weird relationship with all those children.
It's not weird. He's fond of children.
Greg
Right.
gives Kareem a side eye. So, I know a thing or two about the North, and Golden Fields isn't exactly really close to the spine of the world. How the hell did you end up getting from there to Golden Fields at 9 years old?
That is an interesting tale. It starts. Well, it starts with this little bird that I was following. I kind of snuck out of camp and followed this bird that everywhere it landed, little flowers or petals and wildlife grew. Anyway, I followed it, and it kind of flew into this old tree, like the hole of a tree. And I was 9, and I kind of climbed into it, curious. But I fell. I fell through the hole in the tree, kind of knocked myself unconscious. And when I awoke, I was someplace else. A jungle type place. Can't quite explain why, but I was just transported elsewhere. Well, anyway, it was an interesting place, but a dangerous place, and I was on the run. There was some shadow that was after me, but luckily, I had a few. I stumbled upon several animals along the way, who kind of guided me to safety, and I found a pair of druids who rescued me from that place and brought me to Golden Fields.
Now, Belfrin, can I ask you something? You
Yes.
know, that's a pretty crazy story. There weren't any, like, colorful mushrooms in the tree that you might have eaten. I mean, I'm no judgments, but, I mean, boy.
Well, at the time, I didn't know what it was, but I believe now I was in the spirit world.
The spirit world?
Yes.
What is that? Like ghosts?
No, it's a place like where animals live, man. You know, and spirits of nature and things like that.
I think I need a new
Right?
type of tobacco for that.
Tribe shaman, they talk about it all the time. They smoke their wacky tobacco, in a hut and things like that, right?
Sounds like my kind of
like,
people.
like she's trying to get some reaffirmment from you.
Of course. One of the animals that came to my rescue was a gorilla.
Hey, I'm gonna yell over to Zorana. Hey, Zorana, you want to come over here and listen to the story? It's pretty good.
I was just talking to Koros about how we get them somewhere to heal up.
He can come too. Bring him over.
I'm
Of course, looks
motioning.
like a deer in headlights. Like,
I'm like also like pushing and trying to get Winter over there. It's like, you want some help getting over there?
so Corus's leg is in a splint at the moment, and I guess you were kind of like maybe working on a crutch for him, out of like twigs and twine, not twigs, but branches and twine. Let's say that you kind of were doing that, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like halfway done, and you can help him up, but you'll like need to actually physically help him up.
Okay. Yeah, I have have lots of twigs and twine. I just like pull one out of my hair.
I was gonna take one of that, but there are. Yeah, you're able to. You can get some like wood and timber from inside the actual caves.
Probably from
Um,
the fence too or something. I don't know.
yeah, and there's some. Yeah, the post exactly right. That should be fine. A couple of posts, and you're in the midst of actually creating the crutch for him. But in the meantime, you help him up on his feet, and
Get him over here.
yeah. He kind of hobbles over with Zorana's help to sit near the group, and he nods at everybody and seems cordial as he gives a half smile.
Well,
And him and Gree introduce themselves. Actually, they already know each other, so they don't say nothing. Because they were both captives.
Yeah.
Well, I guess now we know why you like summoning those monkeys. But tell me, how come you were chasing that giant with the donkey when we met you? What was going on there?
Well, when the giants attacked Golden Fields, I wasn't around. I was in Waterdeep. So when I returned and found the place devastated, well, it was not completely devastated. You rescued it, but I did know a few people who didn't make it through the battle. And I figured that there were more giants in the area. So I went out looking to see if there was still a close by threat. And I stumbled upon a giant and followed it back here.
Holy Lathander, you would not believe. I come from a town that was totally destroyed by giants. A bunch of people I know died, and now I'm out hunting them. Oh my god, kindred spirits. Me and you, right here.
Giants are spreading, Koro says, very solemnly. He says, I've seen them myself as well, along the western edge of the high forest.
I've seen small children, to be honest.
Right behind Joe. Joe, look behind.
Giant in the high forest?
Behind you.
He's trying to steal the remote control.
I thought you put him to bed.
No, he woke up again. He's sick. I got him sick, actually.
Oh, no.
After you guys talk about villages burning down and hunting giants, I'll raise my hand and go, yep, same story.
Oh, tell us your story.
Yeah.
Yep, that's why I'm here. So my village was overran by giants and goblins and such, and me and a few other of our spellcasters were able to use illusions to get everyone else to safety, and then we retreated to Waterdeep. But over time, over a few years, we set up a little inn there for ourselves, so to support our community. But ever since then, I've been trying to figure out where they came from and what happened. I think, I met Harshnag, and he told me about you guys, and here I am.
Harshnag? Is this true?
Yeah, I guess. He says, I know Balabar from way back. Him and his family have, an inn back in Waterdeep. Is that right? What do you call that place again?
That's
Balabar.
a good question.
It's been a long time.
we call it the Green Hill.
Yeah, Green Hill. It's got that green beer, doesn't it?
Yep.
Are you allowed in there, Harshnag? I feel like that would not make sense.
No, I'm not really allowed in there, but I've gotten some green beer from there. Turns your shit green.
That's interesting. I should try that.
No, you really don't want to try that. But anyway.
Oh, it's delicious, and you don't need to eat. It's enough nutrition for the day.
Ah, that sounds great. I should
Oh,
definitely try it.
Like a kale smoothie?
Everybody just looks at Zorana. All heads turn. Every single NPC in the map.
What? All the sheep are looking at you.
One of the kids starts crying.
That's good.
What? Just mix it with some fruit. It's fine. It tastes great.
Oh man. Yeah, I'll take your word on that one.
Ugh, vegetables. Oh, give me meat any day. That's what Harshnag says.
Harshnag,
I know, that's your third sheep, isn't it?
what is your next plan of action, Harshnag?
Well, let's see here, you idiots. You companions here. It's really up to you. I was thinking that we should probably head over to the Eye, the All-Father, if that's all right with you. But if you got other business to attend to, I think that maybe I'll just meet you there and wait for you.
Did we have other business? I looked to everyone else.
I think the next plan was to go to the Eye of the All-Father.
Well, I think we should maybe hit up Zinthel to see if she's alright.
Yeah, I could cast sending and send her a little, do a little check-in. But yeah, I think we don't really have much. Everything else on our list that we had to do, I feel like, is small fries compared to these all these giant problems.
Gotta make
So,
sure they don't destroy any more villages or
Could always track down all those, what are they, goblins and hobgoblins that left here?
That's true. That goblin fisherman guy was big butthole.
big jerk.
Oh no.
Right, how did they even come here? Why were they allied with giants, of all
Well,
people?
they ran away and left him, so. Not
Well, I mean,
anymore.
goblins. Yeah, goblins were working with them back in
That's true.
Golden Fields, As long as I've known hill giants, they've had goblins working with them. Seems like they're all pretty gross and smelly and mean.
Yeah. They just forced them into their service.
I feel like the hobgoblins are a little more intelligent than the regular goblin.
That would be right.
Well, if it wouldn't be too much trouble, Chorus says. Perhaps I could borrow, or maybe you have a beast of burden. I can make my way back to the wardens of the High Forest. Maybe with the help of the Hilltopples, bring them back to their home. Maybe I can enlist Gree here to escort me along the way, and I can tell the wardens to hunt out any of the remaining goblin folk that are nearby. Would that help?
I like that
I mean-
idea.
You have important business, and I'm not much of a help to you with a broken leg.
We could make you like a dog sled, but with sheep.
You don't
A
really
sheep
have
sled.
horse.
Gree says, wait a minute, I don't, not really my thing, man. And
We could do a pig sled.
Yeah, is that better?
It sure would mean a lot to me if you
What
helped.
about the Harshnag sled?
How about I say we escort everyone to Golden Fields? Or I don't know if that's the closest town. Do I know that? Check for that.
Yeah, you can make I would allow an intelligence check or survival,
So let's go.
because you're proficient in survival.
Oh shit.
Let's roll.
Well, I wonder
Yeah,
maybe we should.
So,
I'm
sorry,
proficient
go
in
ahead.
survival. Can I make one too?
You
oh, you
try.
are? I didn't
Well,
realize
actually-
that you were. Well, you're not actually from these lands. So.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. Although I've been to these towns. Maybe.
But you know what? I'll give you a survival check with disadvantage.
Okay.
All right. So thinking on it some further, and with Zorana's help,
Yeah.
you kind of get the idea that you're pretty sure you're somewhere in the Desserin Valley, and your best guess is that you're northeast currently of Golden Fields. You put yourself in the vicinity of maybe within 100 miles, anywhere between 80 and 100 miles.
And then how far are we from Tribor? About. Because that's where we came from, yeah.
Tribor. I'm pretty sure it's maybe it's
Yeah.
further. I would think.
So, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but it took you maybe about 9 days to
Yeah.
reach Tribor.
Okay.
To reach you.
And
So
yeah,
more like 200 something miles.
probably between 150 to 200.
Well, I'm just wondering if we brought him north, it might take a little longer, but at least it'd be on our way. We'd be making our way back to
Big old hand thing.
tower. Yeah. Big hand tower. Oh god, Balabar, you gotta see this hand tower. It is so cool.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
And the giant who lives there, I didn't even want to kill him.
Is it like a stone hand or a flesh hand?
It's stone, I think.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Didn't feel like flesh.
That would have been smelly or something.
And when you touch the giant, you turn to stone yourself.
You don't touch it.
I think.
Did that happen?
I felt like that happened.
It did happen.
I'm
Well-
glad none of you are stone.
Not yet.
Well, you unturn after you leave his flesh.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Has anybody actually asked the Hilltopple family where they're from? Koro says.
I think I tried it and I don't remember the answer.
And they're kind of like, 30, 40 feet away from you guys, hanging out and eating food, being private by themselves on the north side of where you guys are currently resting.
Why don't you all come over here? Don't be strangers.
Come by the fire. We have ham and shit.
Oh, they're eating. But sure, when you invite them, the kids start, they get up and they start laughing and running over and playing games around you guys. And Rosie and Roderick, they come over and they thank you for inviting them to your circle. And you guys are all sitting together now.
Is Emin here or did he disappear again?
Yeah, he's here. He's just kind of fading into the background and quiet.
Okay. Does he wink at me?
He winks at you.
Yes.
That's the inside joke from Thornberg's game, right?
I always wink.
It was so great.
Hashtag
I love that
just
game.
Emin things.
So, where are you little people from?
Oh, little people.
Oh, I'm sorry, half people? How
Man.
does it
We
go?
don't really call ourselves halflings. We're henfolk.
Hen folk? Like
Wait,
chicken?
you don't look like chickens at all.
No, henfolk. That's what us halflings, as you might say, might call each other.
Henfolk.
Well, the Hilltopple family's been living in the farmlands outside of Wamford. 3-4 generations now.
I like your accent.
Well, thank you, sir. I like yours. Where
Thank
would
you.
you be from?
Place.
A place. Are we all from places? And he gives an uncomfortable laugh. All right, so, you're all mighty adventurers, and I'm not really sure where you're planning on going. But, where are you planning on going?
We're planning on going
North? Ish.
Way up north, but that's way up north, and I would say priority is getting all you people to a town where you could at least rest and be safe.
I think we're going to hit up Tribor first. Is that alright, friends?
Oh,
Well-
Tribar. That's quite a ways away from Wamford. Have you figured out where we are?
I think so.
I'm sure this.
I looked at
river-
Zorana and we kind of like, talk about it for a second.
Yeah, so based off of what I told you before, you're pretty much smack in the middle of the Desrain Valley.
I tell him that.
So you're southeast of the Sumber Hills, and for just clarity's sake, I'll move you over to the map of the north, so that way
Cool.
you guys can see what I'm talking about. Oh, I reset my music, fucker.
No.
You guys should all be able to see the map, though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, see,
Okay.
Golden Fields is a great idea. Look at that.
You know-
Wamford's closer.
Or,
Yeah,
well,
I do
Wamford's
think-
closer.
I do think Zoran is right in saying that we should probably help these people get back home. You know,
And not further.
we can't be too busy to not do good anymore.
So you think we're going to hit up Wamford?
Yeah, and then we could take the road right up to. Where did you say this tower was? Near Tribor?
Yeah, like east of it, west of it, one of those directions.
I could be wrong, but I think the river hits the road, and then we can follow the road to Wamford.
Agree clears his throat and he says, "You're not really thinking about going there. What these people are you?" He says to Belfrin. I mean, your mom hasn't seen you in over 10 years. I mean, don't you want to go back to your tribe? He seems really confused.
Well, that's actually an interesting question. How is the tribe faring?
Well,
Everything still well?
I guess you could call it that. I mean, Red Veins is trying to take control, but we got bigger problems with the Grey Wolves trying to take over Raven Rock. We could really use someone like you.
Oh, I'm not much of a combatant. This was my first major fight, actually. Against these giants.
You did good.
Would you mind if I had a private word with Belfrian? And he looks at everybody for a moment.
I don't, man.
Well, as long as Belfrian's okay with it, then I'm okay with it.
Yes, let's chat.
All right. So, assuming that nobody's trying to eavesdrop on this conversation.
Nope.
Nope, I'm not.
All right. He steps off maybe about 20, 30 feet off to the side, and I'd like everybody, except for Jay, to take off their headphones.
Okay.
And then I'm going to wave to the screen like this and type in chat for you to come back.
Yeah, type in chat because I don't have my video up.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right. Nobody still has their headphones on, right? Except for you, Jay.
Just me,
All right.
I think.
So he says, you just met these people and you're already thinking about going off with them?
Well, these giants, they've struck my home and they've attacked several towns. It sounds like a grave imbalance from what I've heard.
He says, giants will be giants, though. I mean, to get involved with something like that, I mean, we have bigger problems, the tribe. And like I said, we could use somebody like you, especially to fight off the Grey Wolves. And I'm sure that your mom definitely wants to see you.
Oh, I. It's been so long since I've been with the tribe. I don't know if I'd fit in.
He says, sure, of course you'll fit in. We'll find a place for you. Somebody of your skill will probably be one of the shamans.
Well, it seems like these new people I've met are heading up north. Perhaps I will get there eventually.
He says, well, it's a long way from here to there. And frankly, I feel like it's kind of my responsibility. You know, I was on a pilgrimage around the north, to see the sights, but having run into you, well, I just can't put such an opportunity behind me. I mean, I gotta take you back, or at least carry on some message saying that you'll come and return. Maybe I could meet you in a town and lead you the rest of the way to where Raven Rock actually is. It's not far from Mirabar or Bryn Shander.
Yes, that sounds good. I think I'll find out where these new people are going. But yes, take word that I will be coming. I will come back.
Maybe I can meet you in one of the towns then. I can think of an inn in Luskin or Bryn Shander where I might be able to wait for you there, at least for a little while, until you come and meet me. When you're done with your business, that is.
Yes, let's go for that. Bryn Shander. Don't think I've been there, but I'll find it.
You don't know where Bryn Shander is? Nice Dale. Near the Sea of Moving Ice? One of 10 towns. He looks at you like, what did you forget?
No, yes, I have forgotten. I have faint memories of it. It was 11 years ago.
He says, all right, well, how about the Bone and Claw? Why don't you meet me there?
Bone and Claw Inn.
He says,
very well.
Yeah, there's a bartender. Goes by the name of Greaser. If I'm not around, just leave a message with him. In the meantime, I'll head back up to Bryn Shander and wait for you. Let's say, I don't know, how long do you need?
Well, what they were saying before is just 9 days just to get to like Tribor. So it's gonna probably take me, I don't know, a month to get up there. Unless they have some faster means I'm not aware of.
All right. Well, I guess I'll wait for you for a couple months.
Okay.
Let's see. Not really sure what day it is. It's been kind of trapped down below Grud Hall for a while. He says, do you know? He's like looking up at the sky, like trying to figure out what day it is. Seems pretty warm out, though.
Yes, I think it's springish. Let me see. What date is it?
So it's currently Kythorn the second.
Kythorn the second. Okay.
So Kythorn here. Just give me a moment. Let's see. Kythorn on the map is the time of flowers. So it's roughly like June.
All right.
So it's like June 2nd. So if he says that he'll wait for you for a couple months, assuming that you do tell him the date, he says, all right, how about I'll wait till the end of High Sun. High Sun of the 30th? Does that work for you?
Yes. Perfect.
All right, good. The Bone and Claw Inn in Bryn Shander. High Sun the 30th is when I'll be there until then. And if I'm not around, make sure you look for the innkeeper named Greaser.
It's a date.
He smiles. It's good to see you. And he gives you like a firm clap on your shoulder. And then follows it up with a second clap on your other shoulder. And then touches foreheads with you. You remember this as the memory comes flooding back as a traditional greeting within your tribe of somebody who is a tribe member, but not necessarily family.
It's been so long. Too long.
He says, yeah, it has. It's been a lot going on. I need to catch you up. But hey, listen, you know, your friends are cool and all, but I don't really feel like hanging around. So if you don't mind, I'm going to kind of slip out.
That's fine.
Says, I'll see what I can find in the caves, and I guess I'll let everybody know I'm going.
Sounds good.
All right. So he turns away from you, and you guys turn back to the rest of the group.
I'd like to do an insight check to see how Belfrian is reacting to their conversation.
Sure. I kind of
Can I
want
do
to do the
that?
same thing.
Sure. You guys can make me active checks.
Woo!
Nice. She seems pretty.
As everybody's just kind of like quietly talking, but kind of mostly paying attention to their conversation.
I'm over there cleaning pots and pans from cooking.
You can tell that the conversation between them, it looks like Gree is trying to convince Belfrian of something. He talks a lot with his hands, and Belfrian seems kind of very reserved and reluctant. You can't make out what they're saying, but he seems very animated, and she seems very quiet and reserved. But at some point, after they talk to each other for about a few minutes or so, you see that his mood seems to change, and he seems resigned. And he nods a lot, and then he claps a hand on one shoulder, and then claps a second hand on the other shoulder, and he touches his forehead to hers very gently, and closes his eyes. And Belfrian is kind of a little awkward about it, but he seems very comfortable. And then they talk for another few seconds or so, and he motions over to your group before it seems like their conversation's over.
As they clap their heads together, I turn to Zorana and I say, I think I should banish this guy.
Don't do that, Thornbird. It's fine. What, are you jealous?
Can I hear this?
Yeah, we're all kind of standing next to each other.
Yeah, you
Banish
kinda
him.
mix each
Banish
other.
him. Banish him right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think I deserve it.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
All right. But if he makes one wrong move, he's going to limbo.
He is going to banish
We know.
Ed. How does banishment work? I don't even know.
Well, it only is for a minute, but
right.
we'll teach him a lesson.
Right. Solitary confinement.
For a whole minute. What will that
I'll
accomplish?
come back and
Absolutely.
say,
Actually, I like that guy. Don't do that.
it seems like our new friend Gree will be parting.
Yeah, Well, it's nice
Oh
to
no!
sit around and chat, but I
Rolling
Really?
my eyes.
I liked you.
well,
Please don't leave me.
you guys are all cool too, but honestly, I want to get out of here. I mean, I've been trapped in a wood cage for months, God knows how long, and if you wouldn't mind, I'm just gonna kind of slip away and make my own way and continue on my pilgrimage to the north. I'm gonna stop in the caves real quick and grab myself a weapon if that's all right.
Sure.
I like-
where?
I didn't hear that, Kareem. What'd you say?
I said what? Where?
Oh, the
A
caves
weapon?
that are behind you.
Hmm.
There's
Those
weapons in
caves.
I grab
Yeah,
by
we
the
passed
shoulder.
a bunch of dead bodies on the way here.
Say, why don't I'll help you with that? Come on, let's. I hate to see you go, and I kind of rush him, pull him into the cave to grab a weapon.
A suspicious
Show
glare
him
at
off.
Thornburn, kind of shaking my head a little.
Wait. Didn't I give you some weapons or something?
Well, he gave his short sword, I think, is what you gave him, and he gave it back to you.
Okay.
I think
Told
that
him-
was last session.
You told him to keep it when he tried to give it back to you.
Oh, that's right, I did.
Oh well, he still has it then. But it looks like looks like he's looking for something else.
Something bigger.
It's never enough for those guys.
Dagger.
Yeah, Thornbur's with him,
As
rushing
Thornburg
him
kind of
along.
takes him and you kind of strong arm him with your arm around his shoulder and leading him to the caves. He's like, "Really, man? And I'm fine. I can find a weapon on my own."
Hey, you've been. Seems like you're Belfian's friend. Friend of my friend. Yada yada. Let's keep it moving. Keep it moving.
Oh, yeah, we want to get you out of here as soon as possible. Come on, let's go.
Well, Harshnag definitely notices this, and he kind of just looks at at Zorana and just kind of chuckles under his breath as he takes another bite of meat. And then Koros kind of whispers to Zorana, "Is that all?" And definitely Kareem, you notice that something's definitely off because Thornburg is not acting like his normal self. As he takes the dude, him and Gree, and they beeline it right to the cave mouth. And what are you doing, Thornburg? As you're standing there with Gree.
I shipped them.
You shipped them? What?
Mhm.
What does that mean?
The
Look it up.
The ship
Like
has
we're a
sailed.
relationship now.
Yeah, relationship. They are shipped.
Oh, right.
Hey, you don't know what happens in the cave. Should we go secret?
Yeah, actually, that's a good idea. So let's go secret, and so everybody take off. I'll tell you when to come back.
Okay.
And Thornburg can keep his headphones on. Actually, Thornburg, if you don't mind, Eric, can I just step away for a minute to go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
I'll let you know when I come back.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
All right.
Okay, bathroom.
So what I'm thinking is we get a couple of birds, we tie them together, alright?
What are we gonna do with the birds?
We're going to tie them together.
Why?
Don't question me, okay?
Okay, continue.
We tie them together, and then we put some mail, and we send it to Zorana. Zinthil, sorry, I'm drunk. Where are you?
Thornburg already said he could cast sending.
Oh, that's right. Don't listen to me.
Yeah, I actually we'll have to decide because I could cast sending or I could just scry on her. Which is
Ooh,
kind of creepy, but you know.
She could be naked. I like that idea.
I mean, only I would see it.
Kareem.
I don't want this anymore.
We'll just do sending.
Yes, sending.
That's more polite.
Right.
She's our friend. I shouldn't just go scrying on a friend.
Yes. Probably not.
It's messed up, man.
He's small man with magic. What's your name again?
Balabar.
Balabar?
Once you say my name, I'll go, oh, yes?
You are great on the battlefield. I pat your back.
Thanks, you all. I'm glad we all survived and etc.
Yes. So, are you going to follow us now? And join our group?
If you'd have me, sure. I kind of, I'm curious where this goes.
You want to kill some giants with us?
Yeah, I think this is the source of the ones that destroyed my my tribe, but maybe they're here as another group of giants in the north. I would love to go with you to continue to give them vengeance.
We would
Yes.
love to have you. And I'm like petting your owl too. You don't know how I got him and when I got him, but I got him and I'm petting him and I love it.
Yeah, he probably doesn't. She probably doesn't seem to mind.
All right. Do we have Thornburg?
Yep.
All right.
So-
So everybody take off their headphones, and then I'll let you know when they come back. All right, Thornburg, you still here?
Yep.
And nobody else is on, right? All right. So he says, all right, that was a little awkward. What's up, man? You're out of sight at this point. You've walked far enough into the caves with Gree that they can't see you and you can't see the camp.
Well, you said you need some weapons. Why don't you, take her pick.
Sure, don't mind if I do. And he goes to one of the nearby bugbear bodies, and he starts stripping the body of weapons and armor as well. He looks like he's taking off the leather jerkin that the bugbear is wearing, trying to find a suitable one that's not so damaged. But he doesn't seem like you get the impression as he's doing it, like he's genuinely looking for
Looking for what?
armor and weapons.
Mm-hmm. As he's looking, I'm just kind of watching him, and I say, so what's your deal?
What do you mean, my deal?
I mean, come on. You don't need to lie to me. I know that there's something going on. You're not telling us the whole story.
He gives you a squinty-eyed look, and he says, "Lie to you? Well, I haven't lied to you at all, friend."
Well, you don't need to lie.
That just makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up.
Uh-huh. I say, well, you wouldn't mind then if we stepped into a little zone of truth, would you?
He says, "Nah, I'm kind of suspicious of magic. Don't
Come
mind."
on. Oh, come on. I know. You got something you want to tell me.
He says, "I do. Do I?" He says, "Listen, man, I don't like you. I don't like whatever thing you got going on, Belfrin. Whatever spell you may have cast over her to keep her in your little group, I'll think I didn't notice. And when word gets back to Raven Rock and my people, yours is the first name that I'm going to bring up." And he says that as he stands up real tall, holding one of the bugbear's morning stars in his hands after he slipped on the leather jerkin. And his chin's up, kind of in an intimidating type of stance.
Yeah, and I'm standing in the chair with him.
You're pretty much on par height wise with this guy, but you're much more heavily armored and prepared than he is at the moment.
And I say, well, I'm trying to find a new path, not be so vengeful and so angry. So why don't you get the hell out of here before I change my mind?
He says, "I don't mind if I do." He says, "See you around, Thornburg." And as he turns and he gives you his back, he literally puts his hand over his shoulder and gives you the finger as he walks down the hallway.
I'm like, oh, Lathander, give me patience. I'll just let him walk out and kind of say a prayer, try and compose myself before I exit.
And as you do that, and you're kind of watch him go as he disappears around like the bend and the tunnel. You can see that you can actually hear like his footsteps completely fade away, as if he starts to move silently throughout the caverns. But seems to be leaving toward the rightmost exit. So if you remember the way the caverns were, there's the camp. And then there's the exit, the entrance into the caverns on the north side.
So like the one that we first entered from? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, exactly.
Got it.
That's the direction he seems to be headed in.
Great. I let him go, and I walk out towards the rest of the party by the bonfire.
Okay. Good.
All right. That son of a bitch.
All right. Let me move you guys back to that map.
Can I insight check on their conversation in the cave?
Well, so what you saw happen was that him and Gree went inside the cavern to the north, and they went far enough in that they disappeared from sight.
But can I see them when they're coming out?
So the only person that actually comes out is Thornburg. And
oh shit! He killed him.
You can make an insight check, Thornburg. Sorry, you can make an insight check, Kareem, on Thornburg's expression. so you really can't tell what's going on in Thornburg's mind. Thornburg kind of looks constipated to you.
Oh my god, they killed him.
I got a smile on my face.
Like he just farted.
My brow is a little furrowed, but I'm smiling.
Huh. Yeah, fuck it. Whatever.
Well, looks like your friend there didn't want to stay for lunch. So, hope you said your goodbyes.
Oh yes, he's on an errand. Hopefully he's going to tell my mother that I'm still alive.
Yeah, he seemed determined to get back to that Raven Rock place, but sounds like a pretty boring place. I don't think we should ever go there.
Maybe one day. You know what place I really want to go to? Let's see if I can find it.
We're journeying up north now, aren't we?
Well, I was still
Or to
thinking...
Wormford first.
Yes, I was still thinking we could follow the river until we get to some sort of road and see if we could find our bearings there. I'm sorry, Koros, but we'd be heading a little bit opposite direction of the high forest, but at least by the time we get to a town, maybe there'd be a place where you could get a horse and head back to the wardens.
No, that's fine. I would gladly appreciate the company and escort the Hilltopper family to where they want to go. And in the meantime, I can send maybe a message or some sort of leave a message at one for any of the High Rangers near there. I think it's a great idea.
All right.
Well, great. Now, that magic thing we found that teleports us. We have no idea where that takes us.
We don't know where it teleports us to, but from what I understand, it's only one location it would ever teleport us to if we ever were to reuse it. I think.
Man. Your understanding of the item is correct.
So it's like a Hearthstone, you know?
It's like a big gamble.
Well, if you knew where it took you, then it's not. Because every time you use it, then it takes you to the same place every time.
I'm just saying, like, once we go down, we're going to have, like, a long time to travel back up.
I say we send Winter through it, just in case.
No.
Just to test it.
Absolutely not.
Oh, wow.
Maybe we could ask a professional to inspect it and see where the teleportation. I don't know if you could magic your way into knowing the location of where the teleport on this item takes you.
Yeah, maybe somebody in town might know. That's a good idea.
I don't know about in Wamford, maybe in some place like Waterdeep, but I mean,
You never know.
Balabar, can you identify things? Did you already do that?
well,
I
you
I
did,
think I did. Yeah.
but you're not
Oh,
gonna know like where the spell
Got it.
specifically is set to.
You just
Got
have
it.
to blow the horn. Or how do you activate this shell?
Maybe
put
like
your,
rub
like-
it twice, you know,
Yeah.
like a lamp.
I've seen one of those
Be in
before.
it.
Yeah, with a genie in it.
So, what town are we heading to?
We're gonna follow this river
Wamford.
until we get to a road, and then if we know our bearings from there, we can get to Wamford.
Okay. How are they going to bring all these sheep and pigs?
Like
herd
herders
them.
usually do, you know.
So Roderick speaks up. He says, "Well, you just leave that to me. I'll figure it out. I have my sons here and my daughter, and we'll be able to herd up the sheep." He says, "The Hilltopper family has been shepherds for 4 generations now, so we're quite skilled at this. And now that we have all these extra pigs, maybe we'll take up pig farming as well." He says
So,
with a big
There
smile.
you go.
will you need to travel a bit slower to keep them all in line? Or...
Well, of course. He says, not so easy to keep 100 sheep in line. Normally I would have a sheepdog to help me out, but the kids will do.
Yes, they're basically dogs anyway.
And besides here, you got this ranger-looking fellow with the broken leg, so I thought you'd be moving very fast as it is.
Slow it is.
I don't know much about herding sheep, but I'm good with animals.
I'm happy to help scare them in any given direction.
And maybe we could utilize that giant elk of yours. Not such a bad idea, miss, if I may say so myself.
Sure thing. I'd love to help
He
out with
says,
winter.
And having this giant on our side, I'm sure that will do a lot to keep any of the nasties away from us on the travel south, right?
Of course.
But who's gonna keep the giant away from your sheep and pigs?
I don't know if Harshnag, are you going to come with us?
He lets out a loud belch. He says, I guess. But let me just say, I'm going to take the payment of 1 sheep for every day I'm on that stinking road down to Wamford. There ain't nothing in that godforsaken village.
Well, you could always just meet us back at the temple.
I could do that too, if you wish. In fact, maybe that's a better idea. Don't want to scare any of the local folk. And besides, maybe I'll run into some stray ogres or giants along the way and give them what for. He pats his axe lovingly.
Sounds like a
You're
plan.
free to do what you want, Harshnag.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I don't want you traveling with us. You know, we're just kind of known in these parts for saving them from giants.
Yeah, bullshit, Thornburr. I know you don't like me. I've got to play 2 ways about it.
Ugh.
Well,
Come
your
on.
presence was greatly appreciated, Harshnag.
You helped us live.
Yeah, you saved our lives.
More than once.
Well, we'll see. All right. I'll meet you back at the temple then.
Thank you, Harshnag.
Maybe after a night of rest.
I looked at the
Feeling kinda
sky.
full for a moment, and I gotta let deuce.
I looked to the sky. What's it looking like?
So it's approaching dusk. Approaching. You're getting there. You maybe got about an hour or 2 of light left.
Is somebody playing a video game with loud noises? Is that what I'm hearing?
It's my son actually.
Oh, that makes sense.
So it probably hear that in the background.
Okay.
Has the
I was
fire
just
gone
curious.
out behind us? The big burning building fire.
So it has been burning for about 8 hours, maybe more at this point. And I would say that the embers are smoldering. They're not completely out. There's some patches of fire still up top on the hill, but more or less, as soon as it hits like any of the damp logs that form the dam, they kind of fizzle out and just create a lot of smoke. So this building more or less is out. It's just a smoldering wreck at the moment. But you can still see that there are still some parts of the building that remain standing. If we switch to the map of Grudhog for a second, and we look at the map here, and I ping this little building over here is still completely intact. And it looks like there's a chimney, like you see the stone chimney right here? That stone chimney has like halfway toppled, but is more or less still intact. And so is a lot of that part of the building. Like kind of the walls are still up. The roof is completely gone. But like half of the walls are still standing around that area.
Ah, good. Well, we should. Oh, I'm interested in exploring. You said this. I'll start with the small house.
Okay.
I'll go with you.
I'll stay with the family.
Yeah, I'll stay. I'm not gonna go.
All right, sure.
So yeah, I'm gonna work on some alchemy, actually.
So only Zorana and Belfrin are actually leaving?
Balabar and Belfrin.
Oh, Balabar and Belfrin are actually going to the house to go investigate? All right, sure.
Holler if you need us.
You got fireball. Come running.
Yeah, yep.
All right. So just give me a moment here to find out where you're going. All right, so you get to a pretty large, it almost looks like a blacksmith building. It's rectangular in shape. It's got like a wooden walkway that kind of leads up a few feet, kind of like the building itself is raised. And you see there's a large pile of logs on the side of the building, kind of pressed up against it, perhaps to provide wood for the forge that is inside the building that you immediately see when you approach it. You can tell that there is a large, but sized for a human, anvil in the room, and a few barrels, and off to the back you can actually tell that there is a large like makeshift bedroll, or straw that's kind of laid out to allow multiple creatures to sleep. So that's what you see at first glance when you enter inside of this blacksmith's building.
It's all giant sized, right?
No, it's actually sized for for humanoids.
Right. So
Yeah,
look
that's
around.
what,
Maybe there's
that's what you could tell.
something useful.
Yeah, I'll go search the side as well.
Excellent.
All right. So it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot here. You could tell that there's a lot of blacksmithing tools. This place was heavily used. You could tell that the walls are scorched. Not scorched, but they're heavily laden with soot. And looking around the room, you don't really see anything of value. It looks like whoever was here, maybe before they left, took anything. because you spend like a good, almost like an hour, like looking through stuff, and you find nothing. You feel really disappointed. As you're done with your search, and you're like, "There's nothing here, man. This place is crap."
I was hoping to pick up a shield. All right, nothing. All right, let's climb the ladder then and check the tower. No, the tower's burnt to the ground. That was fire.
Well, like I said, the tower itself, yeah, you're right. The tower itself has been burnt to the ground, but there's an area right next to the tower, which is where that chimney was.
Oh, let's go up there. See if anything survived.
Yeah. So at this point, your light is like severely running out. So to help you, like clearly see, you'd probably have to cast some sort of light spell.
Dark vision, okay?
Yeah, dark vision should be fine. You won't see any colors or anything like that, but that should be okay. You have dark vision too, Jay?
Yep.
As Belfry? All right. Okay, so getting up to the upper level, after you climb the ladders, you could tell that there's a lot of wreckage here, and you're walking on broken. You're walking on like smoldering wood and broken mud wall, stones. But I mean, it would probably take you a significant amount of time to probably try to pick through this place. But why don't you go ahead and make me investigation checks? And if you want to assist each other, that's fine.
Ooh, you win. I can't even get that high. Let's see what I got.
I'm low to the ground. It's easier for me to see stuff.
Yeah, it is actually. And Kevin made that investigation. I wasn't even done. Anyway,
Woo!
so yeah, you could tell that there is a large amount of broken bottles around this area, and as you're looking around, even one of the bottles like near here, like seems to explode under pressure, and you see a large gout of flame like shoot up into the sky. But you do find a value here is what looks like a giant clay or brown stone jug, except it's got multiple spouts. And you could tell by looking at it that each of the spouts seems to be labeled in some way, as if there's some writing in some like curved script underneath each of the spouts or next to it. And the thing is pretty big. Like it's maybe about 2 feet in diameter. And it looks like, like a person could carry it on their back, but they probably would need to set up some sort of strap because the strap has like long since burned away. But yeah, that immediately strikes you as being interesting, Balabar.
I'll point it out and ask if you are able to carry it back to camp so I can take a closer look at it.
Sure.
Yeah. So you're able to go over to it, Belfrian, and kind of like jostle it or jiggle it out of the rubble. And it's kind of warm to the touch. And from what you could tell, like each of these spouts themselves seems to have like a tight cork in it that is tied with like kind of like a leather tongue that if you were to take the cork off, you wouldn't lose it.
Oh.
And then looking it over, you could tell that the language, what languages can you read?
Common, Draconic, Druidic, Elvish, Giant, Primordial, and Sylvan.
Okay, it's not any of those.
Of course not.
That's great.
I can add gnome to that list, and I'm done.
Yes, no.
And it's not gnomish either.
I know languages if you bring it to me eventually.
It's not Muldaharan.
Something else.
I know another language.
So, you can keep searching if you wish. There may be other treasures here.
I'll take another look around.
Sure.
Holy
God. On fire. I brought the right guy with me. Look at
What the heck? Look at
that. What? Apparently, we're just rolling the same numbers over.
You guys are hacking.
that. Hacking roll 20. Bam.
Yeah.
Totally hacked it.
So, as you're looking around, you can see also that there is there's an interesting looking potion, kind of like poking out of what looks to be like a metal box. There was a couple of other potions that were also in the box, and the metal looks like really badly beaten and covered in soot. But in the box itself, it looks like 2 other potions were there, but they've shattered, maybe from having fallen or maybe from the heat itself. But one of them is still intact. And from what you can see when you're looking at it, it seems to be like a clear liquid. But as you look at it a little bit closer, you notice that there's a sliver of a yellowed fingernail inside of it.
Ew.
Gross.
And the potion looks pretty large, almost like the
Drink it.
size of a wine bottle.
Sounds gross, but I'll pick it up and we'll bring it back as well.
All right. There was writing on it as if there was some sort of label, but it's all burned away at this point. So you think that you have enough light for maybe one more check, and look around.
Okay. Aw, nice.
All right, Belfry, come on.
Can't do. Oh, I got
Hey.
that.
All right.
You took my points away.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Balabar, you're looking around and something definitely catches your eye. Something that, like when you first look at it, it appears to be like kind of like almost like a cube-shaped bottle. And then as you're approaching it and getting closer, you notice that the cube-shaped bottle has got some purple liquid in it. But when you take another step, the liquid changes to a bright pink, and the bottle's no longer cube-shaped; it's now circular. And then as you're getting closer to it, you notice that it constantly keeps changing its shape and the color of the liquid inside of it. And you're like, whoa, this is like really cool because you've never seen anything like it. Almost like it's like an illusionary bottle. But as you carefully go to pick it up, you can tell that it is physically changing its shape and size and weight and color of the liquid inside, like almost like every few seconds.
All right. Well, I very carefully carry it, so I'm with it changing shape. I don't accidentally drop it.
Yeah. But Belfry, in the meantime, as Balabar finds that, you also notice that there seems to be like a beat up metal covered book in there. It almost looks like the cover on the book, and this book is pretty large. It's maybe about the size of your player's handbook. That's about the size of it, except that it's got like a lot of pages inside that seems to be like tin. And as you're flipping through it, and you notice that there seems to be some sort of like multiple recipes written in some strange language. It matches the language that actually exists on the jug that you found. And the covers themselves seem to be like a thicker metal, almost like a burnished bronze or maybe a copper. You can't really tell because it's really tarnished and dark from being in the fire. But the book remains intact, and you can tell that there are 4 distinct pages on it.
Oh, interesting. No pictures?
Yeah. So as you're looking through and you're carefully kind of studying it in the fading light, you could tell that one of the pictures seems to be well, the first one on the first page. It actually looks like a picture of the jug that you found, except that there's a goblin drinking out of it, and there's 2 other goblins holding up the jug, and the goblin kind of looks like he's a little drunk. That's your best guess of what the picture is kind of showing.
And is another goblin like he has like a sandwich with like some BLT on it and he's spreading mayonnaise on it from the jug specifically?
Nice.
Maybe.
Bacon sandwiches.
Maybe.
Spoiler.
In some alternate universe, sure. On the second page, you see that there's a goblin, and he looks like he's getting like massaged with what looks like to be like some sort of liquid. Like one of the goblins is standing on a stool and pouring what looks to be a liquid on him, and the goblin underneath the bottle of liquid that's being poured on him seems to just be standing there with his arms like kind of like this, like kind of wiggly to his left and to his right. You're like, what the fuck does that mean?
Pornography. let's
Like
see
training
what
under
happens.
a waterfall, you know, of like
Getting drunk.
almost endless supply of water.
Lubing up.
So, did you just
Wait.
say
Oh,
like
oh.
this and then wave your arms?
I did, but you can't really see it. Like, yeah, he's kind of like wiggly armed, you know.
Wiggly arms.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's actually looking at them. Anyway, the third page looks like the goblin is like has a potion in his hand, and he seems to be looking up, and you see what appears to be like a giant, almost your best guess is some sort of like fire coming out of his mouth. It's kind of drawn that way. You guys ever were in art school and you like drew on like tin paper? That's what these pages kind of look like. I don't know if anybody's ever done that before in the past, but
Yes.
I remember when I was growing up in art school, sometimes give us tin paper to draw on, you know, and you would use like a wooden pencil. Anyway, point is that that's what these things kind of look like. So this is your best guess of what the thing you're looking at represents. And then finally, the last one is like a huge one of the goblins seems to be holding a potion in his hands, but his arms are like ginormous. They look like those things in Thornbur's Adventure. What are those things called again? Those arms.
Kuatoa? Oh,
Yeah, those.
oh, the anchor arms.
The anchor
Oh,
arms.
yeah, yeah.
Looks like a goblin with anchor arms. So for those who don't know what that is, he just looks like he's got these like giant muscular
buff
arms, but like a skinny goblin body. And these goblin drawings are pretty atrocious. You can barely tell that they're goblins because they're kind of like stick figures with pointed ears and large mouths, full of teeth.
Beautiful. I love picture books.
But there's a lot of writing on them, so they seem to be saying something, but you're just not sure what they are because you can't read the language.
Should we take these back and I'll try to figure them out there. I can cast comprehend languages and identify if any were magical.
Perfect. Let's go.
Yeah. At this point, you think you've exhausted your search, and on top of that, your light is completely dissipated.
All right, we head back.
Okay. So after they've been gone for maybe about like an hour and a half, they finally return to.
We have not been eaten.
Thank goodness. Well,
Thank goodness.
what did you find anything?
Darn it.
I found this comic book. It's really awesome. It's about like this goblin adventurer who gets really strong and breathes fire.
There's pictures? I want to see it.
Check it out.
Ooh.
I also found a few, looks like potions in this giant tub thing.
Oh, jar of mayonnaise.
But I'll put them all around me and start casting detect magic and work on seeing what they are, and if so, identify them.
Sure. So you cast detect magic as a ritual. In the meantime, you guys keep your bonfire going. The Hilltop family they start getting a little sleepy. At least the kids do, and they stop playing to sit around their mother, who seems to be singing like a really soft, and I'm not going to sing it, but like a soft, beautiful song in Halfling, kind of like almost like a lullaby, as if she's cooing them to sleep. And Koros there, he's kind of like just watching it and listening to the song and kind of, beating his hand along to the beat of the song on the grass. And 10 minutes of your... Go ahead. Somebody wanted to say something?
I pull out my golden flute and try and play it.
Wow. You have a golden flute? Oh, that's right. The one that you found.
That was my lute. I kind of wipe off the mouthpiece first because it smells like giant butt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this thing is it's pretty... it's you can definitely tell it's high quality, and it seems like it's intact and working, but it does not smell good, and it's kind of greasy. So,
I just kind of like I don't actually put my lip on it. I just like put it really close and blow.
All right, sure.
Try and play.
So a shrill sound kind of like issues from it. Not very loud at all, because without putting your lips actually up to it, it won't make a very loud sound. Do you actually know how to play a flute?
No.
Right? Yeah. So at this point, you're just playing like notes for the sake of playing notes.
Like completely out of tune with the song.
Yeah. I mean, it seems more ornamental than it does an actual good instrument, from what you could tell. But what the hell do you know? You're not a flute player.
Yeah, I don't know.
You just play the skin flute. No.
Oh god.
Anyway, I was just joking. But yeah, 10 minutes later of detect magic, and you discover that only the book doesn't detect as magical. Everything else does.
Okay. I go ahead and work on identifying.
Okay. So you can do you actually have the spell, or are you spending 1 hour to identify each item?
Is that what it is nowadays?
Yeah, it's slow ass like that. But we can all try and identify an item each, so we can get it done a little faster.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm reading the book with the cute
Yeah,
pictures.
it takes a short rest to identify unless you have the spell.
Gotcha. I do not.
Alright. So each of us grabs one, and we'll get 3 done in the hour.
Stare at it intently for an hour.
Yeah, that would work.
Stroke it a little bit.
All right. So who's
Put it in my
got
pants.
the jug?
Kareem totally wants the jug.
So Kareem's taking a look at the jug.
Sure, why not?
All right. So as you're looking at the jug, you can tell that there's like something sloshing around inside of it, but you can't really tell what. And as you pop each cork and you smell it, you can distinctly smell that there are different, things in each of the corks inside. It's almost like the jug itself has like different compartments within it. That's your best guess. But as you're pouring it out, you don't know how to activate it exactly. It seems like you would need to know what the language actually says. But your best guess is that you could probably figure it out with some, trial and error.
Oh, do I know what the language is? Is it Infernal? Because that's the only other language I know, basically.
It is not Infernal.
Damn it!
But
Yeah,
studying the language, you could tell that the language is very
Goblin?
crude. It's crude. You're not sure if it's Goblin, but your best guess is that it's probably some sort of crude language like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sure. I'll just trial and error it and see what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
It sounds like water.
Um,
Try saying water. You know?
yeah. So, yeah, you start tasting each of the different spouts, or if not tasting it, you're like pouring a little bit out. Fortunately for you, one of them that smells like really, really acrid. You decide not to drink that one. You determine that that spout pours acid, and then one of the others smells like also kind of like burnt almonds, and you're like, oh, that doesn't smell good either. And that one's poison. So, but the others are pretty good. You find beer and honey and mayonnaise and oil
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
vinegar and water and salt water and wine. And after an hour, you've discovered that you have found an alchemy jug.
I knew the whole time.
Yeah, that was
Cool.
pretty obvious.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys got an alchemy jug there. All right. So who's got the potion with the fingernail in it?
Not me. I want the other one.
I'll take the fingernail one.
Oh, this thing smells nasty. It's like it smells kind of like body odor, or like gym sweat, and
great.
and like you're
sounds wonderful.
smelling it, and you're like, oh man, I have no idea how am I gonna this, and like you're kind of like eventually you just get to the point where you're like, shit, I gotta try a little bit, like a little drop of it. Like you pour a little bit on the ground, nothing happens. You pour it on some clothes, nothing happens. And eventually, you just get to a point where you're like, "Oh, you're fine. I'm going to take a drop," and immediately you kind of feel like your veins on your arms like start to swell, and you get this kind of like little surge of energy, and you feel like your clothing get a little bit tighter, especially in your upper body. But after some
Boob
time, it's not a boob enhancer. After some time,
Finally.
you begin to realize that as you look down at your arms, that like contours of your arms seem more muscular, and your best guess is that this is a potion of giant strength, and it would grant you the strength of a hill giant. All right.
And that's a hill giant toenail in there, I guess.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I've seen one of those before.
Yeah,
Sure,
I'm not
yeah, we
drinking
have.
this.
So
Like
finally, you have the book, which is not magical, and then you have the ever-changing potion. Yeah. So Balabar was the one doing that one. This one boggles your mind. You're looking at this potion, and every time you try to study it or do something different with it, it changes shape on you. And like you try to pour a little bit out, and as you're pouring it out, it just gets sucked back into the bottle. You try to pour it on your tongue, and everything that you try within the span of an hour seems to boggle your mind. But then suddenly, it all seems to coalesce for you. It's like you knew all along what it was, and your memory as you're staring at this thing travels across distant spans of empty space and millions of stars, and you find yourself blown away as your mind suddenly comes to realize that this is something truly, truly magical, something that you never thought was possible in a million years, because it allows you to modify memory, time, and space. This is a potion of mutability.
Interesting.
Is that permanent?
It is permanent.
The fuck?
Whoa.
9,000.
All right, cool.
Guys, look what I can do. And I change the alchemy jug to alcohol, and I start pouring it out, and then drinking it.
Finally.
Well, what is it that you can do? Because you've been drinking for like hours now.
Yeah, but he's been drinking like O'Doul's.
Do you need to go to the bathroom ever?
That's a good point. I walk off into the bushes.
Yeah.
Well, those are cool things.
Yeah, I wonder what we could sell it for.
A lot of money.
We need money.
I know.
Do
I've got all these spells that require money. I have no money.
I mean, we got some in our bag of holding.
I don't know you have that.
I mean, what, we got like 2,000 gold worth in here?
Yeah, we got like 2,000.
Cool.
So,
So at this point of the night, like I said, the sun has fallen. You've taken some time to, study the items that you've found so far, and the Hilltopper family has kind of, retreated off to the north side, and the kids are fast asleep, and so is Roderick and Rosie. Well, they're getting ready for bed.
I'll try to gather the group. Harshnag left, right? He's not here anymore, or is he still here?
Actually, yeah, Harshnag peaced out. Actually, he's gonna peace out now. He says, "Well, I think it's time for me to go, unless you want me to stay."
Well, we already
But
said we'd meet you at the temple, so.
Take a
I'm
few
kind of
sheep.
used to traveling at night, so makes people less likely to see me along whatever paths I decide to take. I'll stay off the road and meet you back at the Tower of the Hand of Anam, and then when you're ready to head off to the Eye of All-Father, go together.
Sounds reasonable. We will see you there, Harshnett.
sounds good.
He says, "Don't wait. Don't take too long. I'll assume that if you don't come back in, 10 days or so, that you all died.
That's a fair assumption.
Yep.
Try not to get yourselves killed."
We'll do our
More like
best.
distracted, but okay.
He crouches down to Balabar and he says, "You take care of yourself, little buddy. Glad you were able to help these folk out. That you got the revenge you wanted."
Yes, thank you. Be safe, and I'll see you soon.
He kind of gives a smile, something that's very rare for Snag, and gently pats you on the shoulder. And then
After
he gets up.
crushing my spine, I go,
He gets up and he jogs his way out of there. And leaves.
Once he goes, I'll try to ask you all to be in like a 10-foot radius of each other, except for winter, and I can provide some shelter for us for the night.
Okay.
That
Well,
would be lovely.
Can't Emmon do
Sure,
that too?
yeah.
I make a Leomin's tiny hut.
Hmm.
In case you don't know what it is.
Edmund's gonna make a hut for the Hilltopple family because he's got kind of the same ability.
Oh, well, this is cozy.
This'll work.
Yep. So since you're in it, you can go in and out as long as I don't leave it. But nothing can pass through from the outside, and we can see out, but no one can see in.
Oh.
Nice.
Then I hope you relieved yourself before.
Of
you
course.
made it. Or else we're in for some unsightly entertainment.
I mean, if you really need to, we could all like leave and we can't see. And...
That's a good idea. Just dig a hole and then bury it.
I've never seen a gnome penis myself.
And with that note, no, I'm good.
There's also these little tents right here too, right? That were
Are we still
those-
talking about the gnome penis?
Nope. Do you want to?
Oh, you said little tents. I was confused.
Oh.
Well, in the morning there'll probably be a little tent, but let's not talk about that.
I move as far away from you as possible in the 10-foot radius.
All right. Well, let's see here. So this is going to be the hut that Emin creates for the hill topples. Just put them under there for now. In the meantime, are you guys retreating or I guess resting for the night?
Yep.
Yeah.
Seems like it.
I could go in one of these tents with Winter just to be with Winter.
Oh, so you're going in one of the tents with Winter?
Should we set up a watch?
Nothing can get in here, so that's up to you.
Well, we could still get around it and wait for us. Right?
That's up to you if you wanna. I'm gonna sleep.
Yeah, I think we're fine. We killed all the bad guys.
All right, can you just ping on the map where you want it, Kevin?
I'll put it kind of over here.
All right. Let's see. Let's use this one. What color do you make it?
Like a dark green.
Right. Well, just assume that that's dark green.
Looks like it to me.
Totally dark.
Right. And that spot's good, right?
Mhm.
All right.
Yep.
So Emin will stay in this hut with the Hilltopple family. Just to keep them safe.
Mhm.
We'll say he does that.
I'll be in one of the tents with Winter so that Koros can be in the other hut with the other people. I'm not trying to be in a tent with Koros.
Yeah, Koros will take one of the tents.
Are you sure?
He'll give you guys privacy and stuff.
Because he's injured, I would have invited him into this one, but
Yeah,
if he declines,
that's
so
what
be
I
it.
was thinking, but yeah.
Sure. What do you say to him?
Why don't you sleep in here where it's cleaner and safer, and you don't have to worry about trying to run away with your leg?
Oh. Make me a persuasion. Well,
No, I don't want to do that.
the offer is kind. Maybe I will take you up on your offer. If it's not too much trouble.
It's literally no trouble at all.
So he, with the makeshift crutch that Serana has made for him, he hobbles his way inside, and takes a little spot in the hut. And Kareem, are you staying out?
He just hasn't moved yet.
Whatever works.
No, go in the hut.
Sure, I'll go inside the hut.
All right. So this thing lasts for 8 hours. Are you setting up a watch or ignoring the watch?
Well, apparently my team wants to ignore the watch, so I'm just gonna do whatever they want to do.
I'll wake up maybe in the middle of the night.
And watch for an hour? Yeah, sure. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna watch for an hour.
I was
Okay, in
thinking-
the middle of the night?
Yeah.
Sure. Let's do that then. Why don't and the rest of you guys are sleeping, so go ahead. Why don't both of you roll perception checks? Kareem and Zorana.
Perception.
Oof.
Woo! You could have been asleep. You could have been asleep.
Just an
Might
an
as well
hour.
have
An hour. Fine. We always wake up in the middle of the night, restless.
Yeah, I'm probably used to doing shifts anyway.
Sure. All right. So
We ain't seen shit.
make one for winter too, please, Zorana.
Winter, where are you? My little winter window. Fucking where? That's just a wisdom plus perfect. No,
No.
wisdom check.
One of you is keeping an eye out. Good job, Winter.
Oh, that's actually pretty good. All right. So Winter kind of nudges you awake at some point. You hear the crickets. Actually, not really. You kind of hear like the soft wind. It's really, really quiet. But you could tell that Winter seems a little on edge. He's nudging you awake, and he's kind of got this like look in his eyes. Like he definitely senses something or someone is near. And he seems to be giving you a little bit of a low growl, and he kind of takes a little bit of your hair in between his mouth, and he pulls gently on it, and motions like with his head toward the flap in the tent.
What's wrong, Winter? Something out there. I'll like check out the flap, see if there's anyone outside.
As you say that and you whisper to him, you can kind of hear a very low, almost like guttural sound. It seems to be coming from the camp itself, like really, really close by your tent. Let me just change the mood of the music here because this is way too happy.
I was assuming that's why we didn't need to take watch.
Is that? Can you guys even hear that? I can't even hear it.
Yeah.
All right, very barely. Okay, so as you're kind of listening and the smoldering, you can hear kind of like the crackling of the bonfire outside, like dying, and just barely past that, you think you can hear something else kind of rummaging around. You could hear what sounds like one of the tents being opened, and like I described, almost like a low, like guttural, almost like kind of breathing noise, but it sounds like two rocks rubbing against each other as well. Are you gonna actually take a look?
Yeah.
All right. Are you doing so in any special way?
Stealthily. Since I heard something and it sounds kind of creepy. Stealth
Sure.
check.
Go ahead and make me a stealth check.
14.
14.
14.
All right. Just give me a second here. From what you could tell, as you peek outside, there seems to be a strange creature, not more than 30 or 40 feet from your current position, in this direction. It's got its back to you at the moment, but it appears winged and hunched over. Its skin is gray and black like granite. It appears to be looking inside of the tent, and as it turns its ugly bat-like face towards you, you could tell that it seems to like notice you as you open up your tent flap, and like immediately its eyes go wide, and then it roars up to the sky. It almost seems like a giant, almost man-sized stone bat.
He's worrying he's not. I'm getting my longbow out and just hoping, just in case.
Sure. Just give me a second to set up here. So this is what it actually looks like.
I wonder what it is.
We will never know.
Never know.
Alright. Bear with me for a second.
What the heck is a gargoyle doing in here?
Thornburg continues snoring loudly.
God damn it.
Alright. So something happened to my scripts, and like the awesome initiative script I had kind of got like messed up. So
No.
yeah, that whole like EOT button thing, like that doesn't work anymore. So just letting you guys know we can't use it today.
It's okay.
All right. But like I said, he raises his head up to the sky and he gives out like a loud roar. And I like everybody, Belfry and Kareem, Balabar, to all make perception checks.
Thornburg too, or no?
Thornburg as well. Yeah.
Nice.
Now you get disadvantage on this because you're sleeping.
Bummer.
And I'm still sleeping.
All right, so with the sound of the roar, Kareem and Thornburg wake up, but you guys actually won't get any actions until round 2 begins.
Cool. Am I on the map? I just noticed I don't think I'm on there.
How could be not on the map, Thornburg?
I don't know.
I'm
sorry.
Give me a second. I did just notice you're not on. I will move you.
Should we all roll initiative too, even though we'll be skipped around?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe sounds like yes.
Damn, Thornburg, you're huge. All right, there. You see yourself now?
Yep.
Does your token look right? You have 66 hit points?
Yep. Perfect.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Very good. No worries. All right, so go ahead and roll me initiative.
Boom.
And we are gonna change up the music here.
What?
Let's see, what should we do?
Woo!
It's a little too exciting. But whatever, it's good enough for now. Alright, so... Okay, so, like I said, Thornburg and Kareem, you're kind of surprised. You're not going to be able to take any actions this turn. Zorana, you're not surprised because you spot this creature. But fortunately, your reactions are faster than its. It does get the chance, like I said, to scream up to the sky and kind of let out this really loud guttural roar from deep within its lungs. It almost seems to try to be getting the attention of something high above it. But you scramble behind you to grab your bow, right? Is that what you said you did last turn?
Yeah.
So you currently have it in your hands.
There is a thing that I wrote down, and I don't think I've ever used because it never really came up when I remembered it. I have advantage on attack rolls against non-acted creatures on my first turn. Ha! So, my first attack has advantage, since he hasn't acted yet.
Yeah. Alright, fair enough.
Well, then it. Get wrecked. 24 hit this gargoyle bat stone thing.
Yeah, that's very good. So you scramble, you grab an arrow right out of an quiver, you knock it into your bow, and as you pull back, you fire it at it.
Ooh,
And
are you kidding?
expecting it to like bounce right off of the creature, you actually do manage to connect it deep within its skin. And you can go ahead and roll me damage, which you roll a 5.
No, I rolled a 1. That's what I rolled a 1. Another goddamn motherfucking 1.
Oh my
Is
goodness.
it humanoid
No.
or not?
Nope, it's not humanoid. And you notice that the arrow doesn't sink deep in it at all. In fact, as it hits its skin, it just looks at it and like bats it away with one single hand, breaking it off. And the arrowhead just like pops right out.
Uh-oh.
Guys? A little help?
So you yell out to your companions.
Yeah.
Alright.
Did you see that? Did you see that?
What happened?
Another 1. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that shit.
Well, don't do it again, because your next one's not going to be a 1.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
Yeah, save it. Save it.
Save it for the next time.
I'm skeptical.
It'll be the max damage. Don't do it.
I am
Don't
highly
do it.
skeptical.
Alright, and just give me a second because I gotta roll some other initiatives here.
For our allies,
Lord.
of course. For the unicorn that is coming to save us.
For hashtag.
No. Hashtag doesn't give a fuck.
I forgot. I have his axe again. Oops.
Oh no.
Just kidding.
Oh, so like I said, this thing bats away the arrow that was in its arm. The arrowhead just like pops out when he does it, and it hits the ground. You can tell that there's a wound there, but it's not really bleeding. It's almost like you cut or you shot an arrow into stone, and you left behind like a gouge from the arrow, which doesn't seem like it's as deep as it normally would have been. But it closes the distance to you as it kind of like half flies and half jumps in your general direction. You notice that it's got a huge mouth filled with teeth and these vicious looking claws that it tries to swipe at you and bite you as it moves up to your position.
No.
Facing you off right in the tent. So let's see what it tries to do with its bite. Alright, with its bite, it's gonna roll a 20 to hit, and it actually manages to connect on your forearm, dealing 4 piercing damage to you as it doesn't take out a chunk of flesh, but definitely pierces your arm with its teeth. And then it follows that up real quick with a claw swiped at your head, but you manage to duck below the claw as it just completely tears away the flap of tent that you are currently standing in. And behind you, Winter kind of, scrambles to his feet and seems, to get into a defensive posture behind you. Okay, Thornbur. It is now the start of round 2. Thornbur,
Okay.
you can act.
Okay, so I wake up.
So, guys, normally the rule is if you go to sleep, you take off your armor.
Yep.
And if you decide to sleep with your armor, which is totally fine, you will have exhaustion.
No, I would not be sleeping in my armor.
Yeah, me
So
either.
I got 10 AC right now, whopping 10.
You have your shield on, and you have to don your shield, I
I'm
guess.
higher than
No,
you.
I don't have a shield.
Oh, you don't have a shield? Oh, I thought you did.
Nope, I got a great sword, baby.
So the
Which
only
I pick
people
up.
that you could tell that are awake in your tent is Kareem. He's the only other person that seems to be kind of bleary-eyed. He's rubbing his eyes. What the fuck is going on? Is first thought that
What
comes
the hell
across
is this?
And I can see out of this hut,
You could see out of it, yes.
and I can move out of it?
Yep.
All right, I just yell,
I think he can move out from any spot, right, Balabar?
Yep, it's as if it doesn't exist for him. Yep.
All right, so I say, wake up, you clowns. We got to fight.
So as you say that, and you're kind of like half on your back, because you were sleeping,
Uh-huh.
you notice that there are other creatures above you,
Oh, God.
and they
Coming from the
appear.
sky.
Yeah, they're maybe about 60 or so feet off the ground from what you could tell, and they appear to be these giant bats, except they're
Okay.
kind of like muscular and humanoid sized, and they have these large, like stony wings. Against the backdrop of the night sky, where like the moon is in the distance, they just look like black flying shapes to you, though.
Mm-hmm.
But they seem to be descending.
Okay.
And you can see, I'm going to put them on the map so that way you know where they are.
Yeah, they're like 60 feet up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just yelled, "They're coming from the sky!" And, but seeing Zorana in danger, I'm going to use my 15 feet of movement I have left after standing up to go in her direction. 1, 2. So over this way. And then I say, "May the light of Lathander burn your soul." And I cast Radiant Light. That's not what it's called. What is it called?
Radiance.
Sacred Flame. Sacred Flame. It's the flames of Lathander burn. So dexterity save for the gargoyle 1. The one next to Zorana.
So he totally does not see it coming. As basically you raise up your hand and this arc of like flaming light just completely sears the back of the gargoyle that's facing off against Serana. And it takes 16 radiant damage. Is that right?
Yep.
Cool.
And
More than one.
that's more than one. Yeah, that's all. That's all I'm gonna do.
All right. So Kareem, you were awake to witness this.
What the hell is going on? I don my shield, so I still have that on. So it takes an action to put it on.
That's correct.
And I'm going to run over here instead. As I look up into the sky and see these gargoyles descending on us. And I don't think I can do anything else, so that'll be my turn.
All right. But you're standing.
Yep. Yeah, I got up and I moved 15 feet.
Yep, got it. And you're holding your
you
shield
grab
up
your
and you're
shield.
kind of looking around. You notice
and
that
my action is my shield.
now that you're outside of the hut, they can't see in, right, Balabar? If I'm correct? It's
Correct.
completely opaque from the outside.
Correct.
Okay. So, all right. So Thornburr, one of the gargoyles, upon seeing you, gets close to you and dives next to your position. You notice that it lands on the floor right next to you with a heavy
I'm just
thud.
in my underwear.
Yeah, his feet dig into the dirt as he looks at you and puts out both of his claws, and his mouth goes wide and kind of a roar. If he had any saliva, you think that like it'd be dripping from his teeth. And he tries to bite you in your arm immediately upon seeing you,
Uh-huh.
and gets a 10 to hit.
Can
Oh my gosh.
I have my sword on me, so can I parry that?
Yeah, you can.
Nice. So yeah, I'm gonna use my reaction to parry.
So nice. You take a hand and you not grab, like you don't put your hand around the blade, but you kind of put it up in such a way that like his teeth just wrap around the curved edge of your blade, and you manage to like block it off. And
Balls swinging.
but in the meantime, he takes his claw and tries to swing it at yours. Oh, but you manage to step back just in time as his claw just slashes empty air.
I get. Yeah, I'm into it.
He
All
brought
right.
he brought friends. Why did he bring friends? Thornburr, why are you not clothed?
All right,
See how hard my nipples are?
So, Belfrin, you're currently
blushing.
sleeping. I need a
Looking away.
perception check, Belfrin, with disadvantage. Oh, very nice. Belfrin, you're like, oh, what's going on? You hear the sounds of combat, and you can actually see that your camp is under attack by these strange, stony, bat-like creatures.
What gargoyles?
So,
This is a bad dream.
yeah, you'll be able to act on the next turn.
Okay.
Zarada!
Damn it! None of these ding dongs are close enough for me to do what I want to do yet. So, shit, fuck balls. I'm just gonna move slightly around it, out of the tent, so that like Winter could also move. And
Sure.
God damn it, he's close to me now. So I'm gonna try and stab it with a dagger. Actually, I don't
Dagger?
know.
Alright, so you grab the dagger that's in its sheath on your hip, one that you always go to sleep with every night, and you whip it out, and you try to stab the gargoyle with it, and you actually manage to connect. It digs deep into the creature's chest,
That's more
but
than
not
one.
deep enough, as
damn
you
it.
pull it out and a small gouge remains. You're expecting blood, but this thing's made out of stone, so it's like you just dug it into almost like fleshy stone. And it is still alive, and it hisses at you.
Damn it, I can't do anything.
Alright, anything else?
No.
Okay, Winter.
Winter will move closer. And try,
He steps up to your defense.
try and ram it like in the back as he's kind of turning to my attention.
Sure. So he bows his head and takes his mighty antler,
Damn.
drags it right into the side of the gargoyle. So 20 is definitely going to hit, and it looks like he does 12 bludgeoning. The gargoyle's arm is all like gouged up, but it is still alive,
Ugh.
and it does not look pleased.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All three of you see something that grips your heart in fear. Cresting into your line of sight, high in the sky, you see a massive shape, easily something with about a 30 or 40-foot wingspan. It's clearly draconic in appearance. And from what you could tell,
Man in
it
the hut.
lets out a mighty that just completely blasts the area and sounds so high piercing and shrieking that you almost like feel inclined to put your hands up to your ears to block out the incredible noise. As what you can see is a massive dragon whose skin almost looks black in the moonlight. But from this angle, you can tell that its underside almost appears lighter than the rest of its body, and you think you can tell the glint of blue in its scales. And it is circling kind of like in a strafing fashion above your camp. And you're like, what the fuck is a dragon doing here? It's the first thought that crosses your mind.
We have the worst luck.
Oh fucking god!
I mean, we are near the Desert Valley, and out of character knowledge.
Yeah, so this is just show you real quick what it kind of looks like.
This dragon doesn't have to be friends with some rich bird people, does he?
Rich bird people?
There's a blue dragon in my game, which is set in the Desert Valley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How awesome.
That's funny.
Shit.
Which I might need to change the name of now. Continue.
All right. So, yeah. So he just kind of appears like in sight, and he gets to that position on the map. That's all he does. All right, Balabar. So I need you to make me a perception check, please.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't listen to dragons. It's in my.
You're still snoozing through the combat.
But hey, at least I have a good protection for everyone up while I'm here.
He's having a really exciting dream. It sounds like dragons in his dream. He's like killing dragons in it. So
Safe in
it
that
seems
hut.
completely normal.
Is just Joe to clarify, to have woken him up, we would have had to like take an action. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, cool.
All right. So let's see here. Gargoyle 2 is going to see Thornbur and Zorana, and it is going to help out the gargoyle that is on Zorana. It swoops down from the sky and lands with a heavy thud next to her.
Shit.
And then when it does so, it attempts to bite you and claw you as well.
I got this.
Right. So 10 versus AC on the bite is going to miss. Yeah. And a 12 with its claws. It bites empty air, and its slash just goes wide as you sleep in armor, right? But you sleep in leather armor?
I think it's like hide. No, wait. Pretty sure it's like.
Yeah. If it's light armor, you're
yeah,
fine.
it's
but
light armor, yeah. Pretty sure it is.
you slept in, no problem.
Mhm.
Okay. So, fortunately for you, you managed to avoid the onslaught of attacks from this gargoyle. Let's see here. Gargoyle number 1. Where are you on the map?
Next to Zoran.
Ah, yeah. The second one follows up with attacks of its own, biting and clawing you. Somehow you are very nimble as its bite and slash just goes wide, and you're kind of like using your bow to defend yourself, and you're like fighting them off, deflecting attacks using the blunt side, or basically your bow as a quarterstaff, and you were able to avoid this creature biting you. Number 4 dives and lands next to Kareem, almost at the same time that number 5 does, as they get into flanking positions on the Moharandi.
Do we have
No.
do we have rules on flanking positions, or that's just a different thing? Okay, got it.
No.
That's a thing in Thornbur's game, not in this.
Yeah.
No.
Thank God. Thank God.
Thank God. Thank God, right now.
But they are gonna try to bite and claw you each.
Okay, I have 13 AC, by the way.
Oh, all right.
Ooh.
Should have stayed in the hut.
So the one that number 4 lands behind you, and you're so focused on number 5 that you try to defend yourself, but it's just not enough, and you're not used to being without your armor, and it takes a bite right into one of your shoulders for 5 piercing damage, and then its claw rakes across your back for another 5.
Okay, 10 damage. I'm
10
fine.
damage. Then the second gargoyle follows up the 2 attacks of its ally, hitting you with a bite of its own on your free arm for another 5 piercing damage. But its claw misses you and just manages to rake across your shield.
Okay.
Alright, Thornburg.
I see Zorana getting ganged up on, and I just
Is that a fucking dragon?
stay away from my friend. And I'm gonna again cast the same thing, the sacred flame on
Flame on.
the gargoyle 1.
Alright, so Sacred Flame, gotta make my dexterity saving throw. Let's see what he gets. So he is not able to dodge it again. catch him off guard, and he takes the full brunt of 11 damage across his face.
He's still alive, though?
Still alive. I made the auras bigger, by the way, so that way it's more noticeable. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Helps.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's helpful. I say, God damn it, why won't you die? And then I cast a spiritual weapon with my bonus action at 4th level. And I'm going to hit the same one. So...
Nice. Is over there okay?
It'd be kind. Just a second, let me try to cast it. Goddamn lag.
You can put it where you want. It's under your control.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm doing it there. And yeah, that one hits Gargoyle 1. 17 hit.
17 against Gargoyle 1 is going to hit.
So then that does 13 force damage.
Oh, very nice. So let's see, 13 force damage. Manages to slice the creature's back. You cut a deep, deep gouge into it. You almost see like a chunk of rock fall away from the creature. And it is still alive, but barely hanging on.
And that's all I'm going to do. And then I get ready to parry this Gargoyle 3.
All right.
And that's the end of my turn.
Kareem.
I look at Gargoyle 4, and I say, "Die, you beast!" And I'm gonna try to just whip attack it twice. 22
Oh, yeah. 22 will hit.
for 5. 14.
14 is not good enough, though. You
Damn.
are unable to pierce its flesh.
Okay, I rolled a 1 for the first one, so fuck. So 5 total, which is probably reduced. So I basically did nothing.
So the whip is not magical, right?
No.
I wish, no, but no.
All right. So you managed to cut like a small line across the creature's face, but it is still alive as the whip crack echoes throughout the air. All right. Anything else, Kareem? This was on 4, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
If I move into the tent, will they be able to follow?
No. You
Should I
can. Everyone who is in the tent, which is all of us except for Winter, when I cast it, can freely move in and out, and other creatures cannot.
So they wouldn't have an attack of opportunity if I did that, Joe?
They. Well.
Well, technically, it's got a 10-foot radius, right? This tent?
Yep.
Yeah, so I would say that if you were to move 1 square to your left, you would be in the hut.
Sure, I'll do that. That seems right.
Okay. So you step through the opaque hut, and they kind of like seem a little pissed at that. They turn toward you kind of hiss and like extend out their claws, and they're trying to like gauge what the hut is. But that's it on your turn.
Okay. I'm hoping my friends wake up. Or
I
they're.
snore.
Trying to
I
wake 'em
snore
up.
some more.
Trying to wake him up!
I think they're awake. I mean, I yell at them. Wake
Well,
up, you
you
fools!
notice that Belfrien's kind of rubbing her eyes, a little bit confused as to what's going on. Balabar is completely knocked out, and Koros hasn't woken up yet either.
I just yell, wake up, you fools.
In fact, let me make a perception check for Koros. And yeah, as I said, he has not woken up yet.
Good.
All right,
Okay.
so but actually, let me add a turn for this schmuck. Just get him on the order here. I'm sorry, he's not a schmuck.
I mean, he's got a broken leg anyway.
He's got a broken leg anyway, so and he's got like no weapons. So yeah, so his turn's not up yet. Kareem, you just went. Gargoyle number 3 goes now. This is the one on Thornbur. He takes. He tries to take a bite out of you, Thornbur. With stony teeth. You raise up your blade.
I would say
He's gonna hit you.
No.
Yeah, he's gonna get past the defenses of your blade. You're just a few seconds, a second too slow, as he manages to bite your arm for 5 damage.
Ouch.
And then a claw comes in under it. AC 11.
I'll use my reaction to parry that one.
Nice, as you're able to deflect it by pushing it down fast enough that it. Why do I keep only rolling 5 damage? This is very weird.
Just say, I'm not complaining.
They have this Susan curse going on.
Like rolling totally average. All right, but yeah, you're able to deflect the second blow as this claw just like grasps your blade, and you're able to push him back. All right, Belfrin. You are able to act now, Belfrin. You are awake and conscious. You see that Kareem is in there, and outside of the hut, right where he was, there are 2 kind of bewildered-looking gargoyles that are kind of like looking into the hut, but really can't see anything.
That's not something I normally wake up to.
By the way, do we have any of our spells back or anything like that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You've
we
gotten
already
a full
long
benefit of a full rest.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we did that yesterday.
Yeah.
So
We did.
when we like leveled up.
We did 2 full rests back to back.
Beautiful.
It's been a day of rest.
Well, technically, you haven't completed the second full rest. You've only been actually resting. Well, nobody knows how long you've been resting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Alright. Get up, and I'm gonna leave. Leave the tent, or leave the hut. Go over here. As far as I can move, and I'm going to cast Moonbeam on this gargoyle.
Nice. Alright, so Constitution saving throw for half. Alright. Why don't you tell me what happens, Belfrin?
Helda, whatever moon is shining over the night seems to let out a little beam of radiance. Cracks down on this gargoyle's head to relieve Winter and Zarana.
Nice.
Holy shit, lasers.
And so, as the beam hits the top of the gargoyle at a slight slant, it goes right through the gargoyle's whole body, and it just shatters in pieces right in front of it.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, who stole my kill? Oh.
All right. Anything else, Belfrin?
That's it.
Okay. So Zarana, you are up.
I'll dodge over here. Well, not dodge, obviously, but walk over there. And damn it, can't really shoot balls.
Dagger.
I'm gonna try and go for another dagger on this guy, rock, stone, man.
Nice.
Thing.
So as you sidestep about 10 feet to the to your left,
Serious right
you
now?
take the dagger and you kind of drag it right across his his belly. You don't get a deep shot in, but you do manage to nick him across the gut.
What? Are you seeing this?
Dude, you gotta.
You're seeing this,
This-
right?
Next one will be full, I swear.
Yeah, hold it in. Hold it in.
Are you seeing this?
You have a curse, Susan. You have a curse.
Every single day.
At least you're hitting.
Every single damage
That's crazy. I can't.
You have a curse. You should see her in our other game. It's like every fucking roll is
What
one.
is this?
Yeah.
It's okay, at least I have 2d10s now with Fireball.
Nice. So you
Get two
do only
ones.
4
Two
damage,
ones.
right?
Yeah.
Anything else, Susan?
No, because Winter's not in melee range.
Alright, so
On my
it's
turn.
now Winter's turn.
And now he'll be in melee range. Damn it.
So he comes out like the tent kind of, you know, he's a giant elk, so he's not careful about this. Comes out and like the tent's like all tangled up in his antlers, and he like, you know, it's like kind of trailing behind him, and it pops out of the pittons that are keeping it secure to the ground at the moment.
There goes
But
that
he takes his antlers and he kind of like swishes it right across the gargoyle's face, and he does a pretty good amount of damage as he lays into him with some antler cuts.
You know, I can count on you when I fail, Winter.
But he's like trying to shake his head left and right, trying to get like the tent off of his antlers,
Aw,
and
poor-
not really being successful. Koros is gonna make a perception check with disadvantage, and this time he wakes and he's like, what's going on? But he's just kind of getting his bearings at the moment. And just as he says that,
Great.
Oh, shit.
Let's hit this thing off.
oh yeah.
Oh,
So just as he says that, kind of like hovering in the sky, the dragon changes position so that it's kind of facing you guys. Its chest forward, its wings out. It lets out. It opens its mouth real wide and lets out the loudest roar that you have ever heard.
Oh god. That's pretty cool.
And I'm gonna need everybody here to make me a as I'm using my frightful presence. I'm gonna need everybody here to make me a wisdom saving, please.
I'm asleep. Do I need to make it?
Does 14 make it?
So Kevin, I'm gonna give you a perception check. 14 will fail.
Okay, I'm gonna use my
Winter
indomitable
is
ability that
on
I
it
just
right
got,
now.
which I'm allowed to reroll again.
Sure.
Okay, well, that was really bad.
You rolled with advantage.
I don't hear it.
Yeah, so Balabar, you are fine. You actually don't hear it.
Just you're having a real bad dream.
Yeah, you're having a real bad dream.
Or a really cool dream where, like I said, you're fighting a dragon in your dream, so you can't tell the difference.
Thornberg, you're okay. You feel resolve within your soul, and you are able to the dragon's fearsome roar. But Kareem, Serana, you guys are not, and you feel as if the dragon's roar shivers you down to the spine. And what this essentially translates to is that you are frightened for 1 minute, and at the end of your turn, of each of your turns, you can attempt to repeat the saving throw. Okay, so you just have to remember to do that on your turn.
Okay.
But in the meantime, what did I
Some
say?
some liquid comes out my pants, by the way.
I said it was
Right,
Ron,
that out
right?
in the jug.
And
Yeah,
Green.
it was the jug.
Blame it on the jug.
Around the jug.
I think I lost my music here, so I will play a new song.
In Blue Eyes White.
Oh, God.
Oh god.
All right.
Are you ready, Yuki?
All right, Balabar, you get another saving throw. I'm sorry, a perception check.
There it is.
Oh no, you rolled a 3. Not good.
You guys
Right,
have fun.
Sleeper.
You just
Oh God.
I just wanted to say one thing about this
Hurry,
hut.
wake him up.
You can attack through it with anything but magic. So you can fire arrows, and your sword can pass through it.
And my whip.
And your whip. Yep. There you go. That's all I got for... That's my combat for this turn. I'm just giving you guys shelter to hide in.
Oh god.
I like to be
All
in
right.
the action.
Well, Gargoyle number 2 looks pretty pissed, and seeing that Zorana is frightened, you see that he kind of like, his mouth turns into like the sadistic grin, and he doesn't laugh, he just mischievously, wickedly smiles at you, and he tries to bite you and claw you.
Go away.
So his bite misses you, and his claws miss you as well. 12. I don't believe I have advantage on you, because you're frightened.
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, let me check. Let me check just in case. Oh, frightened. So, frightened means you have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of your fear is within sight, and you also cannot move closer to the source of your fear willingly. So, no, it does not have advantage on you. But fortunately for you, you're able to avoid the attacks that are facing off against you this time. Gargoyle 1, I believe, is dead, so we'll remove him. Gargoyle 4 and 5, noticing that they cannot attack Kareem, will
Attack
attempt to fly in the air.
Oh, which ones?
Well, first number 4.
Okay, well, I'll use my Sentinel ability and use my reaction since he's moving out of my space, out of my range, and I'm going to attack him with my whip.
Go ahead.
With disadvantage because I'm feared, which is still a 16.
Which is good enough to hit.
Woo! 10 damage. And he has no movement now.
And it stops him from moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he does not manage to get off the ground. You do damage as you manage to get your whip around his foot and drag him back down to the ground real quick. So that keeps him where he is, and he looks really pissed about that. But number 5 is going to be flying off.
How deep sleep is Emmett
Eek.
right now?
So Emmett is protecting the hilltop.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Look,
he,
I'm still asleep. It's feasible he still is too.
It could be he's asleep too. Yeah.
probably. He probably wouldn't care. He's probably just sleeping the whole time.
Probably woke up and just rolled over.
So in an arc right over the hut, Gargoyle number 5 lands with a heavy thud, actually right behind Thornbur and next to Belfrin.
Son of a bitch.
And seeing that,
Stop one.
he'll attack Belfrin because he's next to her.
That's not nice.
You seem juicy.
No.
I do not like physical combat.
All right, so he's going to connect on Belfrin with a bite as he lands right next to you suddenly, hits your bicep, takes 6 piercing damage,
Ew.
and follows up with a claw against AC 13 for 7 slashing damage across your leg. So I'm going to need 2 concentration checks.
Concentration.
All right, first one's successful. Second one's successful. Good. All right, so that was
What spell do you have up?
Moonbeam.
Oh, yes, yes. Sorry.
4 and 5, and now we are back at the top of the round with Thornbur.
Okay. Well, shit. Seems like they're everywhere. Let's see. 30 feet, 25. I'm going to use my channel divinity as I grab my holy symbol and
Banish the dragon.
use radiance of the dawn. Yeah, banish gargoyle.
Banish Savage dragon.
So as an action, I present my holy symbol, and each hostile creature within 30 feet must make a Constitution saving throw, or take 2d10 plus my cleric level in radiant damage. Half as much on a successful save. So that's all 4 of the gargoyles.
Very nice. So I will start with Gargoyle number 2 and roll his Constitution save first. All right, and then we'll go do number 5, number 3, and then number 4. All right, so the people that actually succeed on the save are the 2 guys that are above you and below you.
Okay, 5 and 3.
Yep, 5 and 3. But the other 2, they fail.
All right, so it's 19 to them, and then I guess 9 to 5 and 3.
Very nice.
Radiant damage. And then with my bonus action, I will use my spiritual weapon on that bum next to Zorana.
Yeah, take that.
Yeah.
Stabby
And
stab.
26. Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
Nice.
11 more force damage to that motherfucker.
All right, so tell me what happens, Thornberg. You don't kill any of these guys, but what you just did was pretty cool.
Yeah, I just like grab my holy symbol, and this big flash of light emits from out of me and like burns all of these gargoyles. And then I point over to the one and I say, "Stop bothering my friend." And then it just like slashes her back, the gargoyle's back.
Very nice. All right, that one's not looking too good. It's got a few wounds on it at this point.
And I'm just gonna move my spiritual weapon onto the other side as it like kind of slashes across, and now is like in the flames.
Well,
Like,
it's more like a smoldering
Yeah.
bonfire, but
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
it's kind of cool because there's like little motes of light, like drifting up from it.
Yeah.
And like spirit weapons right over it.
And that's all.
Yeah. All right, Kareem, you are up.
Oh, this is not good. I don't like dragons. I'm gonna start whipping
There's a
this
dragon?
gargoyle.
Behind
17.
the tent, I can't see it.
No, the dragon's actually
Oh,
really
no.
high up on the ground. It's almost 90 feet off the ground.
Oh, 90 feet. Oh, yes.
Yeah. So
Okay.
17 and
19.
19. Very nice. So 2 hits.
So we got 6 and 7.
All right. So it looks like, all right. Well, you slash twice into the gargoyle, and like it seems completely surprised when a whip just comes out of like an opaque wall in front of it. And although you hit it twice, it doesn't seem like you did too much to it, but you did leave a couple of gouges. All
Oh,
anything
God.
else?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna move. I'm gonna move. I think to here,
The
So I
other
can
edge
get-
of the hut.
because I figure this gargoyle is probably gonna move to them anyway. Hmm. In fact, I'm actually gonna stand next to Thornbur. I'm gonna go out of this cave like a retard.
Oh, hey, buddy.
And
Want you to join us.
yeah, I'll end my turn there. Guys, there's a
Alright.
dragon in the sky. You see that?
Just
So-
for my own mental image, Kareem, how naked are you?
I got like
He has
I
an
got, like,
undershirt and pants.
yeah, it's like a brown shirt
It's
Okay,
green.
okay.
and
Green
pants.
shirt.
It's like tan. It's like a tan. It's like a tan shirt.
Green shirt.
Okay.
As
Sure,
you pass
green.
by
Just curious.
between Koros and Balabar, you notice that Koros is kind of groggily waking up, and Balabar is still snoring away there. He's got like a little bit of drool coming out of his mouth.
I refuse to wake up.
Alright,
When-
you get another wisdom saving throw.
Oh yes, right. Okay. Let's see. Nope. I am still afraid.
Yep, you're still in fear as you see this giant living dragon above the camp. Okay, so gargoyle number 3, which is below Thornbur sees Kareem join the fray, but still remains concentrated on Thornbur, flanking with his buddy behind him. This doesn't have any real effect, but he does bite and claw into the cleric. So his bite actually manages to connect on you. You try to put up your arm in time, and he manages to get a nice bite into your forearm for 6 piercing damage. His claw hits AC 11.
Again, get a parry in there.
Nice, as you manage to deflect the claw to the side.
Damn. That parry is saving me.
I know, it's 3 rounds already.
I know.
Nah, never mind. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna use my Sentinel ability. Because technically, my turn came back up again and went away, so it reset. So I can use my reaction again. So I'm gonna use my whip attack on that gargoyle that just attacked Thornbur.
Go for
Which is 11, which is probably not gonna hit. So.
No. So
Okay.
you just had the angle of the whip wrong, and like you try to do it, and it just doesn't even penetrate the creature's skin.
Mhm.
Stony hide. All right, Belfrin, you're up.
Okay. Let's redirect my moonbeam to gargoyle number 2. So another con save or 11 radiant.
Constitution save.
For half.
Oh, it is gonna crit. It's con save with a natural 20, but it is still gonna take half damage.
Yep.
So it still takes 5. So as a moonbeam reflects off of the spiritual weapon, Gargoyle sees it coming, and it only gets at the creature's leg. It is still alive, but I recorded 5 damage.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, Belfrin?
That is it.
All right. Zorana, you are up.
Actually, a minor to cast Shillelagh. Just so.
All right. Bonus action to cast Shillelagh.
I'll try one more dagger. Oh, that probably won't do it.
Nope. This time around, the gargoyle sees the dagger coming, swats it away.
Winter can attack on that though,
Yeah,
still,
I
right?
know. Yeah, I'm like shaking a little, still scared. But Winter's got my back. You know, he's not scared at
Yep.
all. He's fucking shit up.
So Winter raises up a hoof and slams it into the face of the gargoyle.
As he's
Looks
shaking
like
off the tent.
Winter doesn't deal magical damage.
No.
Okay.
I
That's what I
wish.
thought.
Unless
Magical
it's
would be
pretty cool. So it manages to hit hit the creature in the face, and like a chunk of its cheek just like falls away and lands in the dirt. But it is still alive.
And that's my turn. And then Winter's turn. Because Winter attacks on my turn, and Winter still has his own turn, so then he attacks.
Yep.
Yeah, another time.
So he follows it up with a second hoof, this time to the chest. Creature is still alive. As you see all these like shatter, these cracks appear like all around the creature. It looks like one more hit and that thing's just gonna like fall completely apart.
Son of a bitch.
Sam.
Koros, seeing that Balabar is sleeping, jostles Balabar awake as he crawls, one leg broken, still in a splint. Like,
Thank God.
Gnome,
Don't
Gnome,
wake
wake
me!"
up, Gnome. And like you're kind of like half snoring, like half snorting, like what? and you quickly look around and you notice that your friends are all outside of the hut, Balabar, and upside down, kind of looming high in the sky above you, is a giant dragon.
My first thought is, why the fuck would they go out with a dragon up there?
Yeah. Oh, I do need a new saving throw from you, Zorana, to make a wisdom saving throw.
12.
So unfortunately, 12's not good enough, and you are still in fear of the dragon.
It's not like I'm gonna move towards it anyway.
The dragon speaks out in a hoarse voice, saying,
I have strip throat.
Strip throat.
Strip throat.
It lets out a mighty roar, and it says, I have found the stone sworn at last. Seems to have recognized you.
Oh, so he's a fan.
Oh.
Maybe we should sign his autograph or something. I don't know.
And you see that he says, my name is Chezaran. Fear me. And with that, you see like lightning appear, almost like juts up from where his groin is, and arcs right through his chest, and comes out of his mouth in one quick blast, right at Thornburg.
Oh God.
So
Wait.
Thornburg, I'm gonna need to make you need to make me a dexterity saving throw, buddy.
Okay, I'm gonna use my inspiration.
That's probably a good idea.
That's a very good idea.
As I use my inspiration because I'm not very dexterous.
Why attack us? We have common enemies.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Oh shit.
You're okay, right?
Unconscious.
tumbled.
Shit, are you serious?
Thornburg just sees this huge bolt of lightning and freezes in his steps
Fuck.
as he sees the lightning just like hit him right square in the chest and jolt him all the way down to the ground, and then he falls over, smoking.
I say, oh, he's a fan. Oh.
Thornburg, no.
Oh
All
my
right.
god.
So Balabar, you are just waking up this turn. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Chorus woke you up. At this point, you can actually do something.
Okay. Question for you. So the ruling on the hut is that magic, like spells and whatnot, cannot leave it. But if I were to say animate objects and chuck them outside, could I do that?
Nah.
Okay.
They're animated by a spell, so.
That's what I figured. Well, if I leave, we're gonna lose it. But I have to...
We're not using it anyway.
Exactly. So I'm gonna.
Yep.
Screw Chorus.
Karos, no.
I think we should kill the ads first because he's in the air.
I'll move over there.
Oh, so once you leave, it actually goes away?
Yep.
All right. Ah.
Bye, Chorus.
Oh
Chorus
god,
is like,
no.
he's looking around. He's on the ground prone with a broken leg and a splint. Poor guy, man.
my
And he's next to a gargoyle.
What have you done?
In either case, though, now I'm
Drag it
going
with
to.
Kill the gargoyle if you can.
I'm going to cast
Or
animate
not.
object on. I empty a bag of pythons basically and cast it on 8 of those. And as a bonus action, I can attack this turn with them. They move 30 feet, and I get 8 attacks.
Nice.
Nice.
So I will roll 8 times. I'm going to attack the one next to Koros.
So, I think they all move kind of independent. How do you want to handle this? As 8 separate objects, or do you want to just,
Like a
you know,
D.
As a
have
bonus
it be
action,
like a cloud?
I'm going to have them right now as a cloud.
All right. So just give me a second to find an appropriate token for this.
And since I'm awake now, I'm going to have my familiar Blinky go, and he's going to aid on this gargoyle, basically just harassing it so the next person who attacks it has advantage.
All right. So here, I'm gonna call it. What's it called? Animate objects. I'll call it AO, and it's gonna be controlled by Balabar. All right. So you see it on the map. You should have control and be able to move it wherever.
I can't control it yet. Oh, there we go. I got it.
You got it.
I couldn't see it. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
So let me roll 8 times. Here we go.
Oh my god. So many attacks.
God.
All right, you tell me what hits. Oh, it already
All
did
right.
damage. There you go.
So, and it looks like it did roll. So the 21, the 23, so that does. Now, is it considered? It is a magic spell.
They're
Are they considered magical? Let me look it up.
yeah, that's something to look to.
I'm sorry, guys. This is like the first time I've seen this spell used in this
Yeah, me
game,
too.
so just bear with me. It's animate objects.
Seems magical to me.
I'm just checking to see if they would deal.
They do bludgeoning or piercing in this matter because they're pythons, but doesn't specify.
Yep. So I'm gonna rule then that since it doesn't specify that it deals magical damage, even though they are animated by magic, that they will deal normal damage.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna say 4 damage. I'm sorry. So the 21 will hit, 23 will hit, 24 will hit. Everything else misses.
Okay.
So go ahead.
They're just gonna float around it basically. They're gonna stay like after they hit, they're just gonna float around it in the cloud. And then I'm gonna have, like I said, Blinky give the next person who attacks this one advantage through aid other. And
Alright.
that's me.
Very nice. So this is a
Good to
pretty
have you
cool
join the
effect.
fight.
Yeah. So you guys are seeing like all these like they're pitons, right? So they're kind of like just spikes, essentially. And they're all like stabbing the gargoyle in multiple spots like all at once. Only 3 actually managed to pierce his flesh, but the gargoyle definitely looks like it is, you know, trying to fan its hands all around it to try to, you know, get the objects, the spinning objects around him off of him.
It looks like rock, so I will throw mountain climbing gear at it.
Yeah. All right. So gargoyle number 2, which is the one next to Zorana, is barely alive, but it looks like it will fight to the death. They will try to swing at Zorana again.
Glaring at.
So first it tries to take a bite at the shoe. It actually manages to connect with a 15. Yeah. So this time it hits your shoulder and then digs a claw into your back, hitting AC 14 for 4 damage. So 7 damage from the bite, 4 damage from the claw that is now raked across your back.
Oh god. Don't ruin my jacket.
Gargoyle number 4, which is
Can
the
sell it.
one that is currently being accosted by the animated objects, will, for the time being, ignore them, see a clear target of whoever cast the spell right in front of him, and move up to Balabar.
How does he do that? Because wouldn't Koros get a battle attack of opportunity?
So yeah, a Karos
I mean, you can
tries.
fly around it.
Sure, we'll say that. Though Karos has got 1 free leg.
Kick it.
Whack it with the splint.
He will try to, you know, even though he's
Building
prone and
fresh.
he has disadvantage, I believe, on melee attacks, right?
I
He
think
would
so,
try
yeah.
to kick the gargoyle, and unfortunately roll a 6. The gargoyle jumps over his leg and slashes and bites at Balabar.
No. The wizards don't have health, guys.
So its bite manages to connect onto Balabar and its claw, both 18s.
Oh, good.
Is that okay?
Yep, I'm still up. I look very hurt, but I'm still up.
18 damage?
No, no, no.
2.
3
Oh.
piercing from the bite and 5 slashing from the claw.
Oh, thank God.
8.
Okay,
18.
that's better.
I was like,
18 to hits.
Yeah.
That gargoyle's
Okay,
strong.
36 damage. Here we go.
No, did not. just a
gargoyles-
total of 8. Yeah, and the gargoyle is finished.
Just gotta kill him real quick first so we can focus on the dragon.
Yeah, and then finally, gargoyle number 5 on Belfrian swings at her. So the bite, I believe, is going to miss with an 11. Is that right? So it snaps at empty air.
No, it'll hit. 11 hits.
Remember, you could have gone to sleep with light armor. Is that still?
I have hide, which is medium.
Ah, okay. Yep. So 11 will hit you for 5 piercing, and the claw will hit you for 8 as it slashes across your arm, digging a deep gouge in your upper arm. Alright. That was number 5. So it's 12:08. I gotta be at work at 7 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah. Snow day.
If the snow, yeah, on a snow day.
I know.
I really wanted to run
Crazy
for you
storm.
guys tonight, so I didn't want to like end it in an early night. Plus, I felt bad about last week and
No,
how we lost some time. So
it's fine.
hopefully tomorrow will be so bad they just decide to not let us have to come in at 7.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. the
I might
storm's
just take the day
crazy.
off. I don't give a shit.
Well, thanks, Joe. That was this is the
Yeah.
first dragon I've ever
Same.
fought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, this is pretty intense. So
Fucked me up.
we'll see what happens.
Gonna obviously have
and
the same
continue it.
photos.
Yeah. We'll continue it next time in 2 weeks on the 21st.
Yep. Sounds
That's
good.
good for everybody. I'm sorry, not on the 21st, on the 20th.
Yep.
All right.
Sounds
Well,
good.
thanks for powering through with your sickness.
Yeah.
I actually feel much better.
All you need is
Aside from my
D&D.
throat. Yeah, I just need some D&D. All right, guys. I hope you had
Thanks,
fun
Joe.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that was good. I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Fun
Have a
game.
good night, everybody. We'll see you in a couple.
Good night, everyone.
Yep.
Good night. Later.
Later.
Good night.